Greetings, and welcome back once again to the Mists of Barovia, this time Barovia at large. Last time, narrowly yet cleverly evading Strahd and his wrathful advance, the group had come to the ruins of Berez, steeped in history and tragedy. The landscape unveils itself to you, thusly. There's a trail that you're on that hugs the river for several miles. The dirt and grass soon turn to marsh as the trail dissolves into spongy earth pockmarked with stands of tall reeds and pools of stagnant water. A thick shroud of fog covers all. Scattered throughout the marsh are old peasant cottages, their walls covered with black mildew, their roofs mostly caved in. These decrepit dwellings seem to hunker down in the mire as though they have long since given up on escaping the thick mud. Everywhere you look, black clouds of flies dart about, buzzing, searching. The fog is much thinner on the far side of the river, where a light flashes amidst a ring of large, old, moss-covered standing stones.
So, the standing stones are moss covered. If we brush some of the moss away, there's no things etched in them or anything like that. They don't look like they were placed there on purpose or anything.
Well, they're over where the flashing light is.
Mm.
You would have to cross a shallow part of the river that cuts through this place, and then get close to them and then chip off whatever. You can notice that there's some carvings on them from where you are, but from the distance, nothing super specific.
I guess I'll do that. I'll sneak over there, I guess, if I think that there's... Is where the standing stones are on the flashing light?
Yeah.
Is it in the open, or...
It's out in the open.
So there's not actually much chance of me
across...
actually sneaking up to it then?
Yeah, it'll be a little difficult. You can try and move down the river to a different shallow part, and then try to maybe use one or two of the cottages that are run down as a way of covering your advance, as long as you really want to take a direct path to it. But sneaking is possible. You just have to do it a little differently.
I'll do what you mentioned just now then, if that's okay with the rest of you. I don't know if you guys are coming with me or not.
While you're doing that, Sasha is going to first cast some false life to give himself 7 bonus hit points. Vita, mortis, creo. And then once he does that, he is going to cast another incantation. His eyes are going to roll back into his head. He's going to turn his head upwards and hold his hands out, and he's going to incant Sio, Dadishi, Pecto. And as he does, he's going to cast Locate Object. Now with Locate Object, you can locate an object you have been within 30 feet of, as long as it's within 1,000 feet of you. I can't do that with what I'm trying to do, but it says alternatively, you can locate the nearest object of a type, such as a weapon, or I can read the specifics, but basically I'm going to use Locate Object to try to find the within 1,000 feet closest magic walking chicken hut. I imagine there can't be that many around. And I'll change it to magic hut if magic walking chicken hut is too specific.
Or maybe something
Magic hut.
we know that she has from the vision of the druid that saw the inside of her house.
Would that be specific enough to find her hut, seeing the vision that the druid showed? It says that I've seen within 30 feet, but technically I've seen the vision. Scrying kind of works that way. But I don't know if that would work for locate object. That's up to you.
In the interest of stronger magic, I'm going to say no, though that was a neat.
Well, that's fine. I'll just look for magic hut, because honestly, how many of those can there be around? Probably like 2 at most.
Or one that's
I was going to say, from the vision, you know that it doesn't have chicken legs always, which I'll say just let you shortcut to. Well, try magic hut, because I know sometimes.
Fair
What are Siguror and Crack going to do while Ahri sneaks off?
Because I cast a second level spell, my expert divination triggers, and I regain
And Sasha
my
prepares.
Does Ahri seem to be in sight the most of the time?
Hey, what'd you get?
29. But I use guidance on myself, so I don't think I just got a 29 like with just what I had.
Ahri is in sight initially, but like manages to
like a ghost.
disappear. You can, I believe, you can roll perception to try to find
I
Ahri,
cannot roll that high.
or
With
you
perception.
can, or you can go okay. Like the place where Ahri is going is out in the open, give or take some mist. So if any trouble happens, you'll be able to hear it almost immediately.
I'm supposed to start slowly moving in that direction, so if something goes south, not by themselves.
Okay. That's gonna require some like wading through some shallow water on the off chance you don't like getting wet. So it has.
I don't got boots to worry about water getting in.
What's Crack gonna be doing during this time?
I'll just use perception and look around.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Just looking around.
Well, I see pretty little probably because I got 10.
You're looking around. You see a lot of what's already been described. This place is marshy, and what little of it is not dirt. This place is really run down. You think you spot a couple of like larger, if still ruined buildings, like on the far end of Berez. So there's some stuff that look like peasant huts that you already saw. Maybe there's a place of interest or import like over yonder. They don't look like a hut that a witch might live in, but you never know. You start wading through the water. Ismark sees what you're doing and looks back to Irina, who is watching Sasha doing his thing. And he like looks between and ultimately like takes a couple of steps after Siguror, but does not actually like leave the 3 of you. You sneak. You're sneaking around. You spot more big like things, more big clusters of flies like already described. There are more than a few times where the mud threatens to completely swallow your footwear. It takes no small amount of concentration to be carefully pulling yourself back up out of it and not like resisting it, trying to kind of go with it but not go with it, because it's marsh and not water. Otherwise you can swim out of the water. Eventually you make your way kind of like around in a loop to the side of the circle of stones, and when you do so, you find one of the stones, because they're there, but you also find the source of the light. First, more importantly, when you get up close, you see the dozen moss-covered stones in near perfect circle, deep within spongy earth. It's at least a little bit easier than the mud that you were treading through originally. These weathered stones range in height from 15 to 18 feet, something that you kind of saw from far away, but now you're close. A couple of them lean inward, almost as if to share a great secret with their inscrutable neighbors. In the middle, you find the source of the light. There is a wary-looking peasant woman near the tallest stone. She has a rusty lantern in one hand and a dagger in the other. And as you're like hiding, you see she's like actively like waggling the light. And now that you're like near her, you can see she's like waggling it in the direction of you guys. And you're close enough to actually hear her go, "Come on, come on. What are they waiting for?"
Can I see any of them within like 120 feet of me, I think?
Yes, but it's hard. Like, it's still a little misty, so you can, or at least shapes, you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, the trajectory, the height.
Okay. Then I will try to use the message cantrip to tell them there's a crazy woman old woman out here. Or, I'll say crone, right? She's old, right?
No.
Or no?
The voice, really, she's got like a hood on, but the voice sounds like adult.
Okay, well, I'll say there's a woman out here with a dagger wagging the lantern around. And I'll tell them what she's saying. They will know that they can answer back in a whisper, and the only one or they can answer back, and the only one that will be able to hear is me.
Okay.
As well.
And it targets everybody?
I can only target one person, so it's just whoever I'm capable of seeing, that's who I'm telling, and I assume they'll tell the rest.
I'm going to say, you're already waiting, so you're technically a little lower. Ismark is technically the most distinguishable person from where you're standing, because he's kind of tall.
Then it will be Ismark, then.
Ismark looks to where you are, and looks to you guys, and makes a decision to whisper twice instead of once, because he kind of semi-awkwardly turns. "I've received a message from afar. I think it's your friend. He says that there's a crazed woman waving a lantern and holding a dagger over there in the stone circle." And he repeats the same thing.
To both of us, or just...
Yeah, to both. Like, he turns. Siguror is away from you guys, and that's the only reason why he looks initially.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of that, he's like, was it too awkward? Yeah. I feel that I can respond back to him. I'm not sure how. Likely you understand better than I do. What should I do?
It's that information I like to cross the river. Very stream. I like to cross the stream.
Okay. You start crossing the stream, and he goes, and he watches, and he turns.
Ask him if she is dangerous.
Okay. And then he does his best to whisper back to you, though with magic, it is successful.
Yeah.
Is she dangerous?
I will.
By this time, you've also seen her she seems to listen, and then both of you get to hear some sound from the water splashing coming towards you. She goes, good. I can't blame them for being cautious, but it's really okay. I think they're coming.
I'll use.
And she jangles the light a little more.
I'll use the cantrip again on Ismark if I can see him still, and say, I am not sure. Either she needs our help or she's trying to lead us into an ambush. She clearly knows we're here.
He says he's not sure. Might need help. Might want to lead into an ambush, but either way, she knows we're here.
Tell him to use his judgment.
as you are crossing, you see like the light. Well, everyone is able to see the light like increase in like jangliness as you are crossing. You are crossing, and very quickly, a figure, a like hooded figure, in like a leather cloak, with a lantern, is coming into view inside the center of the circle of stones. Are you still standing close?
Yes, so I try and maneuver around so I'm close to the light, but like I guess harder to see. Like as outside as I can be.
And you want to get closer to the source of the light, but try to be hard to be seen?
But like whatever the light is.
But
like see like
I'm not sure if
I
there's
can
a way
see-
to do that without like taking an indirect route behind one of the houses and hiding.
Let's keep going then.
Then both of you very quickly come upon a figure. When you are within, like, I'm going to say 15 feet, the figure goes, "Hi, over here." And you see, like, she's motioning towards her, but she does have, like, a dagger, as you've been informed, in her hand. "Over here, quickly."
Put it down first.
You ask something quite dangerous. If I didn't know about you already, I wouldn't. And she, like,
And who are you?
stashes it. That's not very important right now. What's important is I have important information that
What are you doing?
information that could be of use to you and your friends. You're here to kill the witch, right?
What are you doing here?
She said she was here to give you information.
No, she said that's not important.
Oh,
but I have information.
Yeah.
And Crack is pressing and saying, "What are you doing here?" It's like, I am in a lot of peculiar places. I gather information, which is what I am trying to give you.
Was
All
where
of your
does
friends might want to hear this, and you should be close. It's
What-
very easy to be overheard, even in this place.
Who do you work
I guess looking around if I happen to see Ahri or not, but with that high ass
I'm
fucking
gonna
roll.
stay hidden as long as I don't. Unless a fight breaks out, I'm just gonna be hidden and be on the lookout for anything either sneaking up on us or if there's an ambush or anything like that.
Who do you work for? Can you at least tell me that?
I would prefer to not say.
Where does your information come from?
It comes from my own eyes. The witch lives in this place. I've seen her come and go, and I've seen her kill others that have come to fight her as well.
Yeah, you know we are here to fight her.
Yes,
Oh, dear.
fine.
I'm
If
going
it's just the
to.
two of you, your ears will suffice. Well, I feel you're here with more. Actually, no, she says, though I know you are here with more. Baba Lysaga is very powerful. Her reputation in folklore is well deserved. You've likely heard tell of her famous hut that can walk on what appear chicken legs, correct?
May have been mentioned.
Will also be advised that it's not her only tool. She also has a giant skull, which she has hollowed out and turned into some kind of flying device.
What?
Could blindside you if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, should you explore this place, there's a pen of goats surrounded by skulls on wooden fence posts. Don't bother them. They're trapped. I don't know how, but they make a terrible screeching noise when you interact with them.
The skulls are the goats.
The skulls. Baba Lysaga, I think, eats them, but if you want to stay silent and have her not notice you, be careful if you run across it.
Take the signal whistle, and we probably have something set up now where it's just 3 quick twos to kind of sound like a bird. Basically to just signal to people, because if they can't hear us.
Okay.
Did Varg scared to hear?
Well, I'm pretty.
Yes, but Ahri's right there.
We don't know.
Ahri's like in the shadows.
Yeah.
Sasha, Irina, and Ismark could hear it from wherever they are.
Did I find the hut? With my spell.
Actually, you may have. Not to tip my hand or anything, but what school does the spell belong to?
Divination.
No, you did not.
Alright.
However, obviously, magic hut is broad enough that, like,
Okay.
shenanigans are afoot.
Maybe it's warded against divination.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know that. I would just know that I don't sense it. Which logically, out of character, I know he asked about school, but in character, Sasha would just assume that it's out of range. So when he hears the whistle, he will walk over and say, "What?"
And the person, like, does a quick. I was told there was one more of you. But it's no matter. I was telling your friends information. You were the ones who were here to kill the witch.
Yes.
Yes. I simply wish to share with you some information about the witch in this place, so that you may be better armed. We have a common ally. So it's only fair. And
Are you an ally of the Order of the Feather?
Perhaps.
I see.
It's sufficient to say we share a common ally, and it is only good that what I have seen in my time here can serve someone.
Now it's just head on a swivel at this point since everybody else is here.
I've informed your comrades, but Baba Lysaga, in addition to the hut, employs a giant floating skull as like a flying device of some kind as well. It would be best to watch out for it. She also has a number of creatures made out of straw and daggers. Terrible things. So,
Scarecrows?
with what you've... Yes, that's what some call them. Though with what you've faced thus far, it likely won't be much of a problem to you. They'll be wary of the flies. I believe she has power over insects as well. Perhaps not to a great degree, but it was enough to do in the last people I saw confront her.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You're a spellcaster of some renown, so it's likely if you know any legends of the witch, you would take her to be very powerful.
I will.
Be warned, whatever you have heard, she's that much worse. I've seen her disable a man with but a word, and kill almost as easily.
Can I roll? With but the words as well.
It requires a little more.
Does she point at them?
Energy
Yes.
on the finger.
Now, out of character, I can pretty easily guess that she is referring to Power Word, Stun, and Finger of Death. Would you like me to roll Arcana checks to have Sasha make that guess as well? Or if they're different spells, I might be wrong. I'm just assuming.
In this instance, I'll go ahead and say no.
Okay. I am familiar with these magics. My master possessed them as well. Well, so that's great. They can literally one-shot me, like...
Just always sneak up on her.
Depending on your approach, you may be able to gain additional help. You should already know that she is an enemy of those of the Wizard of Wines, And
Yes.
the ravens who favor them. She has captured a great number of them in cages in her hut. If freed, I'm sure they would like a chance to help you. We've not known what you've done for us.
If the hut is walking, I'm not sure how we would get inside. Other than sneaking up.
It's usually standing still. Last time I saw it, it still had its roots embedded in the earth. And she, points, and it's kind of hard to see because kind of nestled in with a couple of other buildings, but there is a vaguely hut-like structure.
Is it within 1,000 feet of me?
I believe so, yes.
Sasha will look and say, "It is strange. It seems to be shielded from my magic, otherwise I would have detected it. Some sort of non-detection spell. I character the exact spell, but I fucking need against Strahd. How convenient. Hopefully she still has it in her fucking spellbook. And that she's not a warlock or some bullshit.
Have we not been doing that against Strahd?
I do not possess the necessary magic to do so.
I could tell you more about the area itself, but likely you will not need it as much as what I have already told you. If you have any other questions, I'll answer them as well as I can, but that is
Have
mostly
you
what I
seen
wish to
her
share.
cast any other spells?
I'm afraid the last who fought her did not live long enough. I have seen her produce fire, and I have seen her crush them.
In what way? A large sphere or a small, more focused orb?
I think it was more focused.
So like firebolt. I'll have her describe the spells that she has heard about and try to... Sasha's going to try to figure out a little more about her spell list, and I can roll Arcana checks for that.
I will. She does her best to describe, but she clearly doesn't know what she's supposed to be looking for.
28. Natural 20.
But she keeps
That would have been cool on an attack roll.
She
It's big
oddly,
brain time.
she oddly
Galaxy brain.
specifically is able to key into dialogue that you understand, even though she clearly she's not sure,
Right.
but ultimately,
But Sasha knows enough.
But ultimately, you're able to assess that she's capable of using magic missile, though the way it's described, it was most certainly used at a higher level, and that might have thrown you off initially.
But I'm familiar enough with...
There's a part where a particularly eager, fair-haired, blonde elven man tried to climb up onto the flying skull itself, and when he did so, she was able to disappear. But the foggy events of the fight make her kind of uncertain about exactly what happened, but you're able to cross-reference a few different things. She tells you about other things to determine that it's something more short-range and immediate, specifically Misty Step.
So she can teleport, great.
You know that she can make lightning. That's
lightning
pretty
bolts.
easy to tease out of what she's talking about.
Okay.
Well, lightning bolt or shocking grass?
Or
A
call
lightning
lightning.
bolt. She made lightning.
Right, she made like a bolt of lightning from her hand. Okay. And then she has Finger of Death and Power Word Stun, which I really don't want that. But both of those could just end me out of the fight.
Just stay covered?
And
change my approach.
there was at least one point where the remaining person in the battle was shrunken in size and then fed to one of the
Larger
So
one of I was gonna say whatever scarecrows, but that sounds kind of silly. It was given as a toy to one of the scarecrows.
fair enough. Question. I don't want to look it up because that'd be a little silly. But what level is Finger of Death and Power Word Stun? Curious.
They are very powerful magics.
Please put level 7.
7 and 8.
Fuck. Of course. Okay, that's great.
Very powerful. almost as powerful as one
While
could be.
Sasha's getting descriptions, the Swing will start looking over the standing stones. Because you mentioned that they obviously had carvings in them from where we were before.
Yeah.
This hut, if we attack her, will it defend her?
Yes.
I figured as much.
It seems to be able to fight apart from her, unless she was controlling it.
Never fought a house before. Could be interesting.
That thing can probably kill me in one turn. I doubt a house does anything less than like 30 damage a hit.
And don't let its size fool you either.
This is great. Okay, and Baba Lysaga, she is some sort of hag. Can you describe to me her physical features? And can I roll
Don't you know how she looks
Arcana?
because of the vision?
Yeah, but I saw her once in a vision. She's probably seen Lysaga more than once, I'm hoping. And can I maybe determine what kind of hag she is specifically? Because there are a couple different types of hags.
Really?
If she is one. Yeah, there are multiple hags.
Huh.
Sure. She does her best. She's got a face. It's old,
20.
but it's not quite wrinkled. If you've ever seen that before. Almost, not exactly like elves, but sort of.
Like it was old and then became unaged, perhaps?
Is such a thing possible?
It is possible to use certain magics to prolong your life. My master's master did so. He lived up to 180 years of age. Quite advanced for a human. Via a specially prepared magic potion. He called it a potion of longevity. She might have some sort of foul magics that do something similar. Or perhaps she has a stock of the potions.
Well, then it is possible. She looks old, though still relatively good, though I hesitate to use a term for such a foul creature like that.
Yes. She is spry in her advanced years.
And she does her best to describe posture, like eyes that are maybe a little sunken and yellowed, hair that is gray, but like more of a silvery gray,
Okay.
so on and so forth.
And I got a 20, 12 plus 8.
Okay.
Hag identify?
Probably not a sea hag. Just throwing that out there. I'd be very surprised.
So, from what information you're given, you're not sure that you're dealing with a hag at all. Like, you're thinking she's more of her own thing. Because while there are some features that align with hags, there are others that contradict them. And to your knowledge, while hags can become fairly powerful,
Right.
outside of a coven and then some,
Yeah. Oh, I should note that's part of the question, asking if she has daughters or sisters that she knows of. And if she says no, that would probably be a big hint as to her not being a hag at all. Because hags usually form covens, because that gives them more power.
I'm not sure.
If you've never seen her with any other women, that's probably not the hag then. Has she... Yes. No, she does not. She eats goats and not children. That's actually a pretty big indicator she's not a hag either. Because hags kidnap children and either eat them or turn them into more hags.
How vile.
Yes. This is a horrible beast. Do you know why it is allied with Strahd? Outside of convenience?
No. I know that she is old. Older than Strahd. Why she serves him, I do not know.
Isn't Strahd like thousands of years old?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Evil usually flocks together.
Oh,
Not in
not
my
really.
experience.
What's
A
more,
lot of evil tends to tear itself apart. That's why you see societies run by more or less good. Because good, as you have seen here, is capable of working together. Evil squabbles among itself, fighting for any last scrap of power. Though Strahd is charismatic and able to pull people under his banner, they do not profess true loyalty to him, not in the same way that others may have. It is more of fear.
As Mark chips in, you'd only need to remember those other villagers to see an example of that. Uncommon, but it happens. They weren't the first to foolishly take up arms. If only I'd caught them sooner.
So you did not convince them they were there before you?
Yes, I found them in the castle and attempted to persuade them to go elsewhere. Needless to say, it did not work.
I see.
Luckily, you were there.
Well, once we find Ahri, I think we should try to sneak. Taking them by surprise might be our only plan. Out of character, she didn't tell me about the pen, right?
She told them about the pen.
Right.
I would
she didn't.
throw out there
She
if she doesn't mention
She
it.
hasn't, but she meant to. And when
I
you
would,
remind,
I would throw out this.
Like,
she
oh,
also
yes,
has-
yes. If you're going straight forward, perhaps it will not make a difference. But as your friend has said, if you come across a pen of goats, be wary. I believe it is trapped.
And she will come to this pen if her skulls are disturbed.
Yes.
We can use it to lure her there.
Hmm.
Oh, but then out of character, we can free the. Yeah.
Well,
So you guys need to. So
no, we actually
we have two
could.
choices. We can sneak up, free the ravens, and use the ravens as part of a surprise attack, or we can forgo possible raven allies and attempt to trap the pen so that when she comes to save her food. Now, out of character, this would be a fantastic time to be able to make a bunch of exploding runes. I cannot set any traps other than just waiting with a fireball for her when she shows up. And honestly, I could do that as part of a
we
sneak attack.
could do both.
You want
If
to
we-
set the alarm off and sneak into her
I'm
hut?
pretty sure
Her
once.
hut might
If
stand up.
one person, maybe with the freakishly high sneak score, could potentially, with us like within distance to get there, something is found out, sneak in, unlock the gates if they're accessible, but basically like tell them, wait for the signal.
If they're
So
just
it
crows,
looks-
they won't listen to us.
Well, you would know that they're the were ravens.
Not necessarily.
Right.
Some of the ravens that came to the defense of the farm were just normal ravens, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
So it depends on how many of those you think are were ravens versus how many you think are normal ravens.
I mean, if we had Grayley here, she could speak with animal, but we don't. So I'm not sure how good of a plan that will be. Also, I think it has a pretty high chance of getting found out, and that any resources we use into trapping the pen get kind of wasted.
Can Ahri talk to animals?
No, I cannot talk to animals.
Ah.
You talk to animals?
And honestly,
Minotaurs.
Okay.
just
Harsh.
trying to swarm Lysaga and take her out before she has a chance to get into the chair is a good idea, because his stun thing is great, but it's not going to work if she's flying.
We could be near her hut, trigger the trap, and have her, near halfway. Or be prepared halfway.
If we trigger the trap, she'll be prepared for a fight. If we wait for her to go out to get a goat to eat or something and then ambush her, then she effectively won't be prepared for fight, and she won't have her flying thing right away.
We could wait for her
That's
to
true.
leave or draw her away, but be near the hut. So she'll leave, go investigate the pen.
I don't think she's going to... Have you ever seen her leave the hut for extended periods of time?
Extended? No. I've seen her come and grab a few goats and then go back, but that's been it.
How far away is the pen from the hut?
It's not far.
We can wait for her to try to go get it. However, the problem is,
We'll be
I
like,
will say, if it takes longer than a day for her to come get her goats, that is another chance for Strahd to find us. And if Strahd finds us, he will not only warn her, but come himself.
That's
How
true.
far
That
away
is
the
a risk.
pen?
Well, it also depends on how long it's going to take her, because she might have goats right now.
Yeah, if she had a goat, if she
How
already
often
got a
does
goat,
she-
That's what.
Does she get the goats every day?
No, not every day.
If this is not the day she's going to get the goat, that gives Strahd a chance to find us.
We could prepare ourselves for her to investigate and attack them. Basically saying we could just be near it, prepare actions, have somebody trigger it. If she steps out to go, what the hell is going on?
If the trap is triggered, she's gonna come with her house.
yeah.
There's no way. If her magic intruder alarm goes off, she's not gonna step out of the house by herself. Are you crazy? She would have to be crazily overcome.
It's not a magic detection
She
trap.
didn't
it's just...
come with the house initially when the others triggered it. She came in her skull, though she did also come with a number of scarecrow.
Predators could potentially set off
When
the
she
trap.
found adventurers that started to put up a little more of a fight than she was used to, she activated the house. Or maybe the house activated itself.
But even if that is the case and we don't have to deal with the house, she is still already in the skull.
Yeah.
Which means the only people who will be able to realistically fight her are myself and Ahri.
If we attempt to assault the house as is, it would just be her and the house at the
If we
same
get
time.
inside
we
the
sneak
house,
up
how's the
on
house
them.
going to hit us?
If we successfully manage to sneak up on them, we could catch her before she gets into the skull.
Hmm.
That is an if, but it is possible. Especially with the aid of invisibility.
Irina asks, is there maybe something you could do with that staff?
Out of character, I don't think so. Staff doesn't have any invisibility.
Put an orb around the house!
No,
No.
it has a size limit.
It has a I can't.
Ismark contributes, like perhaps trap her? If we snuck up on her.
Out of character, I don't think so. Is one of my spells in there a resilient sphere? I don't think it is.
Out of character,
Oh, fucking force swap? Yeah, no, that's true.
He
I would
doesn't.
say I could do what I did to Strahd. I can actually do that around the house.
That's
too.
what I was mentioning.
That's assuming that she doesn't counter me, which she totally can do.
Yeah.
That's
So,
why you start with weak ass cantrips. She won't be able to tell they're cantrips, she'll just know you're casting a spell and then want to counter spell.
Or one of the scarecrows can just run up and hit me because I won't be able to fly if I'm concentrating on that, which means I'll be on the ground.
Fly, invisibility, then we initiate the trap, and then you're
Invisibility
casting
Invisibility
Can't
spells.
is-
use invisibility and fire.
Oh, they are. Oh, cast spell invisible.
the only flaw in your plan is that it's
Be invisible
invincible.
and then cast, because then she can't counterspell if you're invisible.
I become invisible as I cast.
Mm-hmm.
But then when that comes,
It wouldn't work that way.
you could counterspell somebody that's halfway through a spell coming out of invisibility.
Yeah.
Because you can see them. They start to appear as they're casting the spell.
Oh. Hmm.
Now, if what I was casting wasn't a concentration spell, I could cast Greater Invisibility and cast that, but I can't do that. I think just trying to gank her and then we trap her in a sphere. Maybe we can do it the other way around, though. Trap her, kill the house,
Maybe.
Huh.
then deal with her. But that's assuming that she can't break
The
Wall of Force.
Yeah.
I mean, Strahd could.
He had to physically muscle his way out.
She could have disintegrated.
Strahd's the big bad.
But then she'd be using it on the wall instead of us.
Yeah, it depends.
Also, she's not on the front of the cover.
She's not.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
It's sounding like, barring a last minute revelation, the options are to trigger the traps around her goat pen and try to attack her, which has the advantage of perhaps not fighting her house immediately, but the disadvantage of her being flying, meaning only a couple of you can hit her reasonably.
If she didn't have captives, I would just say we should just light the fucking house on fire, but...
And on the flip side, you could instead try to sneak up on the hut and gank her, the obvious benefit being maybe take her by surprise. She won't be flying yet. And the potential negative, I feel like there's a potential negative, but I've forgotten what that would be.
Where are her scarecrows placed? That was the thing I forgot, because where the fuck are the other enemies positioned?
I think we should sneak
They
in,
are here.
send one of these two in to try to free the ravens, and then attack while we have the element of surprise.
So
That
the first
way,
thing I
the
suggested?
scarecrows... You suggested doing the skulls.
Sending somebody in to unlock the cages, but having them stay while we trigger the traps. So then...
No, that's not what I said. What I said is that send someone in to unlock the cages, and then we attack them directly. Just forget about the skulls.
Yeah.
We attack them, catch them unaware, get a surprise round, do as much damage as possible, and just deal with it that way. I don't think we need don't think we need the skulls. That's just adding unnecessary complications. That's my opinion, anyway.
What do you think?
I like freeing the ravens, so I want to sneak in there.
What does Ahri think?
I think we probably should free the ravens. Ganking her is the simplest but probably the most likely to succeed plan, and we don't need to make an overcomplicated plan to get her, so let's just
I mean, if we
do
had a
it.
bunch of ways to trap the pen, I would lean towards that, but I can't trap the pen
I can.
any, and I don't think
I
with
can-
like basic items we can trap it to the point where it will destroy the house.
Yeah, I don't think so, yeah.
Which would be, if we had enough to do that, that would be an awesome advantage because we could just take the house out in one go.
And it's nestled in between two, like, some fucked up peasant houses, right?
Yeah.
Do something to try and collapse those houses onto that house?
It's not close enough to them.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's not... Nestled makes it sound cozy, and it's really more like kind of close. They're close enough that if you're, like, looking from afar, they look like they overlap, but, like, they
I think I have a plan.
Okay, so it's more of a shed
Let
in
this
the
go.
backyard of one of them.
What's your
Which-
plan?
Sneak in.
Are you to help
Okay.
us?
Oh, no. I am here to watch. I am here to listen, and I am here to dispense advice to you. At least that was what I wished.
Ahri, can you make you and Crack invisible? Or will I need to do
I don't think I can.
Really? You don't have any spells.
I
think you can make
only-
people fly.
I only get 7 spells.
Sorcerers, man. Okay,
That'd be
fine.
horrible.
I'll do that too. I will cast a level 3 invisibility
Privileged
to make the
caster
two of
class.
these to make these two invisible. You two sneak in, free the ravens. From there, from behind, as close as we can get to the house, hopefully within 120 feet. That's how close I have to be. You can try to get close if you want, although not too
80
close.
feet is how close I need to be able to hit.
Then let's get 80 feet away. Well, I'll get 120. You can get 80, and you can take his mark, or Irina with you if you want. You get that close, and then once
I can technically
you
get
have
120
freed
if I want
all
to
the
chop.
ravens, I have a plan to disable the house.
How far is the fucking crossbow?
Interesting.
Well, you're going to be in the house.
I know.
You guys are the forward strike.
I could do 120, but it'd be disadvantaged with the
No,
javelins.
How much range can you get with a crossbow? What do I have?
A heavy crossbow?
120 probably at least.
I think 120. I don't know.
I don't think I get any bonus to attack
Actually,
with it.
That his dex is bad.
Hey,
It's
it's
average.
11.
Okay, well, for purposes of D&D, that is bad because it's no bonus. For purposes of random ass civilians, that's okay. Crossbow. You have a heavy crossbow?
How's your strength?
100 feet,
I like,
400 feet.
I like the way you tetherball, sir. How would you like to take on Ultron?
So, yeah, let's just get within. You get within 80 feet, I'll get within 120 feet. They sneak in. Does that sound like a plan? Okay.
Better than nothing.
I'm going to prepare an action, just to let you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to prepare an action that as soon as they release the birds and are in position, I'm going to cast a wall of force. And how I'm going to cast the wall of force is I'm going to cast it as a wall through the house, on the inside of the house. Now, basically, for most creatures, if you're on one side, if the wall of force would go through you, you're shunted out one way or the other. But the house isn't a creature, it's a house. So if I make the wall of force within it, it can't move. Like, it would try to move, but it can't.
It
right?
can't
It can't
activate
get up.
if it's a house, but has to activate.
Well, it can activate, but it would be stuck. It'd basically be like using wall of force to just hold it down like this.
Huh.
If I just put a wall of force straight through it, right?
I like the idea. I'm not sure if it will work exactly like that, but
And hopefully if I'm
That
outside
sounds
the house,
solid
she
enough.
won't be able to see me to counterspell. Also, even if she is, I'm 120 feet away, counterspell has a range of 60 feet. So, and wall of force can't be dispelled by dispel magic. She would have to specifically have disintegrate, and if she does that, well, the next turn I'll just do it again. And I can just hold her house down, and then you guys can deal with her.
But if she's on the other side, I can't
Interesting.
hit her, correct?
Well, not on the first turn, but
Yeah.
that's why they're inside.
Okay.
I can cast guidance before you cast invisibility
Yeah.
on us, right? And that won't interfere with it?
No,
Okay. Do you want guidance?
I can also get guidance on you as well. So you
Oh,
can
well
both
then I'll do it on me and you can get guidance.
Isn't guidance concentration?
It is. That's why I'm asking if you want it, because I have to
get-
cast it
Oh,
before
wait,
you
I
cast
can't do it because of
invisibility.
invisibility. So
Okay.
sorry, one of you can get guidance.
Do you want it? Yes or no?
Guidance is invisibility.
Alright. You should have advantage on stealth anyway because
Yeah.
we're invisible, I assume.
So yeah, cast invisibility on both of them, so that's my second level spell.
You want us to roll for our stealth checks?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 19.
I got a 24
Is it her
for
first
Michigan
ball
guidance.
spell?
Oh,
Cassie
second.
is too.
Oh no, I can't. I forgot.
Wait, you got a 24. I'm sorry, could I get yours again?
19.
19. Don't mind me. We're all
While we were coming
Just
up here,
having a ball.
did you try to do the thing with tiny servants, short rest to get spell slots back?
No.
Everyone else takes their positions as Ahri and Crack sneak towards the hut. As they approach, lo and behold, someone has built a ramshackle wooden hut on the stump of what was once an enormous tree. The rotting roots of the stump thrust up from the mire like legs of a gigantic spider. An open doorway is visible from one side of the hut, beneath which floats an upside-down, hollowed-out skull of a giant. True to what you've been told. Flanking the hut's doorway are two iron cages that dangle like hideous ornaments from the eaves. Scores of ravens are trapped in each one.
So they're not even in the house, they're outside of it?
Alright, so
Yes.
at least they're not individually cased.
They-
like how thought they would be.
Look about as if on alert. But other than that, they're simply there. As you get closer, Well, actually, could I, for no reason, get perception checks from the two of you?
That was great.
Do your guidance?
6.
He used his
No,
guidance
I used my
himself.
guidance on stuff.
Okay.
I got a 7.
I got a 6.
Wow, you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, look at those eyes.
They're focused on the house, man.
You get closer. You are now within, like, you are easily capable of getting within range of the 2 cages.
Hmm.
What will you do?
They're locked or they're just closed?
They are. Oh wait, no. I need to look because I'm right. He almost never says. Look. They aren't locked. In fact, there doesn't even seem to be any kind of loop on them or anything. Just a door at the front and the walls.
Wouldn't a were-raven have been able to shapeshift back and just open the fucking door and walk out then?
They're probably just like swarms of ravens. They're probably not were-ravens. I'm guessing.
The thing is that shapeshift can't shapeshift back to original form if the original form can't fit in the space, right?
He
It's not true.
described them as
Huh.
being fucking big cages anyway, so. You said the door is open? Can I look through it?
The door of the hut?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do I see inside? I don't see more cages, do I?
It requires you creeping a little closer, but you can see on the inside that the hut is 15 feet on a side and packed with old furniture, including a wooden cot, a wicker cabinet, and a slender wardrobe, as well as a wooden table, a stool, and a barrel-topped wooden chest, reinforced with brass bands. There's also an iron tub in like one of the far corners of the room that, from where you're standing, smells faintly of blood.
Hmm.
Gross.
In the middle of the room, there's a ghastly wooden crib. As it rocks, now that you're like really close, you hear like the faint sounds of a child
Well, that's the
coming from
servant.
within it. Additionally, you also notice that beneath the crib, there's a green light that shines through some of the floorboards of the hut. So the undercarriage of the crib has an eerie glow.
Huh.
And perhaps most obviously, you notice an old woman, though she looks good for her age, like crouched like over the cradle. She's currently like cooing and shushing the child.
Okay. But it's just a one room?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's no cages with birds?
No, not that you see.
Alright.
You said the skull, the floating skull is visible?
Yes, it is floating above the doorway.
I guess we'll just try, or at least I'll try to unlock the cage, or I'll just open the cage. Although that will make me uninvisible, won't it?
Interacting with an item?
I don't think so. I
Oh.
think you're only made uninvisible when you attack or cast a spell.
Alright.
I think that's it.
Then I will open the door as quietly as I can
Okay.
for the cages.
You go to open one of the cage doors, it does not open. Despite having no lock or like even like a mechanism visible on it,
Hmm.
it stays shut. It doesn't give an inch.
Working out. I mean, not that crackly now.
Well,
Oh, you might.
I'll
Doesn't matter.
cast Detect Magic.
You might not
make
be.
you invisible.
Oh, yeah, it would.
You might not be familiar with spells at large, but depending on how often you try to unlock things or what kind of groups you run with.
That was good.
So there's no locking mechanism, the door just won't open.
Yeah,
And it's not rusted shut.
doesn't look like it.
Would you be able to do some type of check to tell?
What do you mean?
If
You
it's
asking
magic
if I have
lock or
a
not?
comment?
We're 120 feet away. You can message us.
Oh, that's
But
true.
that would.
That's
And
casting a
use
spell. Even cantrips. Shit.
I can walk back. Even sneaking 120 feet takes a lot less than a minute.
Okay.
What will Crack be doing?
Are you sure both invisible?
Invisibility lasts an hour, so like it could run out.
No. I mean, like, say it walks away and something happens to Crack, they're both invisible.
You guys are within 100 feet. You can get there, and you can attack from where you are.
Regardless, but
Well, I'm just asking what Crack is doing.
I'll just watch, be stealthy, watch.
Okay. You kind of got the feeling that one of the cages was tried, but nothing happened, so something's up.
I'll walk back to. He's closer, but I'll head to you because you're the one that I need to know, since most likely it's magic. I'll walk back and I'll tell you, Sasha, that I tried the door, but it did not open. It doesn't have a visible lock on it, and it's not rusted shut, so I can only assume it's magic.
I do not have the spell to unlock magic locks. If
I do
we
not
defeat
either.
Lysaga, I might be able to do something. Did you see her?
She's rocking a crib with a baby inside.
With a weird ass light?
What?
How is the room positioned?
Wait, why are you? Oh, you're saying
Yeah.
Is Marcus like, what?
How is the room positioned?
The room has a lot of furniture inside and a bathtub that smells of blood.
Where is the skull?
The skull is floating above the door of the hut.
Where is her in position to the crib in position to the skull? Not a character, I'm asking specifically if I can, when I create the wall of force, block her off from the cradle and the skull, or if I'm going to have to pick one or the other. Like if I cut it straight through the center of the room, because Sasha wants to block her off from both.
From what you were able to see, you're going to have to pick one or the other if you just do like the wall.
Even to the
Like the
weird ass
crib,
Roman
the
light.
crib is essentially in the middle of the room, and she's
If
like
she cares for
beside
the
it.
child, she will not kill it. Go back, tell Crack to get on that side of the room. I will activate the wall of force. This will prevent her from reaching her skull and prevent her house from moving. You attack then.
Just to clarify, you want Croc on the side of the wall that Baba Lysaga is going to be at?
Yes, because otherwise he's not going to be able to hit
But
her.
not him.
No, you should go too.
Yeah.
Just you probably shouldn't be right next. Well, I mean, if you want to fight her.
The room is only 15 feet across, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, no matter what, I'm going to be within beating on range.
Well, you
but
can't
yeah,
do you
attack
wanna
through the
fight her or
wall of
not?
force.
I'll fight her because.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll go back, and when I get there, I'll whisper.
Wait.
Huh.
There's a grass trudge and then the not grass trudge. You tell them to wait.
She can misty step. She can just get out of there.
Yeah, she can.
But you're doing it to also
And-
pin down the house.
Yes, but he would trap us inside.
Yeah.
Pin down the house and the skull.
The
'Cause-
skull is outside the house. He can't.
Yeah, but Wall of Force has a length and a height, doesn't it?
He has
So you can
panels.
cut.
I have panels. I can't prevent her from reaching the skull.
No. But you can
That's-
pin down the skull like you're pinning down the house. They're both objects, so why can't you just?
Because
Do
they
the
need to
same
be
thing.
continuous.
Yeah, if the skull is right above the doorstep.
It's 10
That's
feet
5 feet.
above the door or some shit.
It's above the door, or is it above
It's
the door?
It's above the door.
On the inside of the house or the outside of the house?
On the outside of the house.
Yeah, it's on the outside of the house. I can't do that.
Well, why can't you just make the Wall of Force going through the house? Because I thought that was the plan.
Because it can't literally go through a solid object, so I'm making it inside the house so that it's basically like a super heavy brick.
The door is open. You could do both.
No, I
No.
don't
Through
think I
the
can.
open doorway.
Yeah,
to
it
the...
no, it doesn't work
Like-
that way. If I did that, it would push the skull out.
Yeah. Because the way he's using
I can't hold down the house and block her
the way
off from
he's
the skull
using
at the
it
same
is
time.
kind of like putting, if I understand correctly,
But
it's kind of like putting a rock in the center of a bubble. Okay, the bubble won't move. But like the skull, you can't put it inside the skull and inside the house.
so, but I mean, I can make her waste of spell slot by just blocking her off from the skull, and then she misty steps out, right?
Very
And you guys
potentially.
can be prepared. Actually, she's gonna teleport directly to the skull almost certainly. Prepare actions to attack her when she appears in the skull.
Mm.
I mean, unless she goes invisible first, but even then, you'll still get the attack. You'll just have it with disadvantage.
Well, yeah.
I could just
You could get
Fire
in the
the
skull.
skull.
So when she teleports in there, you can just hit her.
Parrot action. Stun the first thing that appears in this skull.
Right?
I can
Yeah.
hit through the skull.
No, he's saying
No,
get,
get
on
in
the skull.
Yeah, get in the skull.
He's saying get
If I
in the-
block her in there away from her skull, the first thing she's going to do is misty step into her skull, right? Probably.
Think of the skull like a life.
So get inside the
I
skull
thought-
invisibly and then prepare an action to attack her when she
I thought
appears.
that skull is a creature.
No,
Yeah.
it's
just
the
a fucking-
skull of a
It's an
giant
enchanted-
that it
Yeah.
flies.
It's an enchanted giant skull.
Okay.
That's right.
It's that one level in Donkey Kong Country
Right.
2, but instead of being on a fucking cart, it's flying.
The only thing that we know that she has that is magical and an object
We
and
must
alive is the house.
Well, I'm telling him. So, this is the plan. Once you are back in position, I will create the Wall of Force. Make sure Crack knows to be in the skull waiting for her.
Mhm.
Okay?
Do you want me to start the fight with an Eldritch Blast? It'll
Yeah, I'll actually make the Wall of Force on the cue of your Eldritch Blast.
Okay,
basically.
so when I become visible, the Wall of Force goes up, and then
Well, the Eldritch Blast will hit her, and then
Yeah.
Wall of Force will go
Because
up.
you can't cast or attack through a wall of force.
is it okay to make this attack with advantage because she can't see me?
Yes, but first, could I get you to roll for me real quick?
Roll what? Just a d20?
I'm gonna say perception.
I'd really prefer if it wasn't perception. Can Sahar also roll this?
Why not?
There's 3 advantages.
Sahar got an 18, and I got, because Sahar gets advantage on perception checks, and I got 9. But Sahar got an 18.
As you're splitting up to do the plan, Sahar pulls nervously at your ear, and doing that is what causes you to notice as well. It's very subtle. In fact, kind of interesting, specifically to you, a magical person, because you have felt as if you were being watched before. Actually, out of character. Who's the ring? Is it still Irina?
It's Irina.
It's still Irene.
Okay, never mind then. You felt like you've been watched before, and you suspected, not to put words in your mouth, but you suspected, oh, that's Strahd. He's looking at us, whatever. But that was like a fiery, angry eye in the sky, and
I'm being scried on.
once the heart pulls at your ear, you feel like you're in the tiniest bit of water. Ice cold at the bottom of your feet.
Are we in a fucking illusion?
No. You recognize, or rather you suspect correctly, that you were being scryed. But the difference in feeling is interesting. Strahd scries masterfully and powerfully. It's almost impossible for you to not notice when he does it. This, you may have not even known if it weren't for Sahar. Someone was watching you. And has been for some time.
I wonder who that is.
Victorio, come on, we talked about this.
He's in an anti-magic zone. He can't score out it, even if he knows the
I
spell.
left.
fucking.
Anyway, that's all I want.
So,
So you can go ahead and make that a check.
should we
if you like.
scrap our plan then?
I have no idea. If it's her, though, wouldn't she do something? Maybe she's waiting for us to move in position so she can.
Her
If it is
waiting
her,
for
she
us
would
to
just
move.
know we're here, but she wouldn't know what we're going to do.
No, she
Well,
would
you've
have
said the
heard me
plan out loud.
talk to them.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's not like we can communicate with fucking telepathy.
Message.
I would.
He would have
Lose
become
invisibility.
uninvisible,
Yeah.
like we brought up fucking 3 times. Fucking.
Plan. Oh, right. This elaborate room.
Yo, it would have been smart if we found her scarecrows and destroyed them before she could use them. But
Well, fuck, if I'm being scryed.
You're still out of range of counterspell.
yeah, but that's not the
It
point.
might be an illusion.
The
Can
house
I
might
roll
not
to
be a house.
disbelieve the house?
I would love to, but I'm gonna say that you can't just do that.
Well, I make the joke, but you can roll intelligence investigation against something you think is an illusion.
Do you have to be within a certain range to do that?
You just have to see it, and I can see through Sahar's eyes if I take over his senses.
Well, if you don't have to be like close up and expecting it, then yeah, sure.
This is
Here, I thought you were
visually
just
discerning it through Sahar. Would that be enough for me? Oh, it's
23.
Investigation. Not perception.
On an intelligence investigation check to disbelieve the house.
You attempt. Well, actually, first. What is everybody else doing? Well, you're still being stealthy, like wherever you are. What is everybody else doing, like during this time? I assume,
the signal.
like, did you tell people to stop, or
I am
just out of curiosity?
40 feet away from you, right?
I guess really, did you tell Ahri to stop? Because technically, everybody else is kind of just waiting on cue.
I don't know, fucking. I'll tell him to hold a second.
Okay, and you attempt to use.
Or
Sahar.
actually, you know what? I won't have said anything. And just because if she is scrying on me, I don't want to tip her off. So I'll have left him to Ahri to enact part of the plan, basically, and hopefully, if it's an illusion, I'll discover it before Ahri gets there in Eldritch Blast. Because moving at 15 feet a turn, he has to get 120 feet, so that's
24 seconds.
Yeah, that's
If I
24
move at 15
seconds.
feet a second.
yeah, it's gonna take him a bit to get into position anyway. So
That's fairly
Then
simple.
I'll
I'll
just
attempt to
talk
roll
to craft.
investigation.
Bolt.
Yeah, it's probably gonna take at least 30 seconds for the Eldritch Blast to come. So I have some time to try to figure out what's going on.
All right, I'll take that. And you said you got 23.
I got a 23 on my intelligence investigation check on disbelieving the house.
Okay. And when it comes to illusions, I'm not super confident, but I believe your roll is against.
Their spell save difficulty,
That's what.
which means
I thought.
statistically, unless she is way more baller than I thought.
And probably a bit way stronger than we should be fighting. That if it's 20.
Well, she has a level spell. She's already stronger than we should be fighting.
She's super strong. You attempt to use Sahar to scrutinize what you see. And while it is almost perfect, it is not perfect enough.
Bitch.
You were the devil. I can't.
No, that's
The
Strahd.
whole house is an illusion.
The whole house is an illusion.
Well, that's a
Okay.
And
So
you were but a
I
perception
changed
check
my
away.
mind. What I want. I'm about a perception check away from what?
You were but a perception check away from not knowing.
Uh,
Your keen
Okay.
senses and your intellect save this part of the plan today.
So,
But she physically touched the fucking.
if the illusion's a high enough level, that's not enough to trigger it.
Oh.
I will. She's looking right at. God damn it! Okay. I'm sorry. I need to. This.
Mind is racing.
And she's scrying at me.
Searches his memory.
Searching his memory for some sort of way out of this.
Before Eldritch Blast can happen.
On something that's.
Because then she'll know that we know. Right now, I know
That
and
she
knows
doesn't
that we
know.
Right now, I have the upper hand if I can figure out something. Oh, right. Okay, I remember.
Oh my god, if Baba Lysaga is the fucking chick that drew us over.
That wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah.
Can I roll Arcana to determine what spell was used to create the illusion? Because if it's major image, if she casts it at a certain level, then she doesn't have to be within a radius to maintain it. It can just be permanent. So I'm going to roll Arcana. 23 again. On my Intelligence Arcana check.
She's powerful. She possesses very powerful magic. Certainly, there's an illusion spell that's powerful enough to do something like this.
Mirage Arcane. I'm guessing.
And that is Sasha's guess. Though Sasha feels that he is correct.
So she has
If only because how many other spells line up?
So she has a spell, she can just set it, forget it, and walk
Last
away.
10 days, meaning she could be nowhere near here.
And that's why your fucking
And
thing
she's
didn't pick it
scrying
up.
on me, and it doesn't require concentration, and that's why my thing didn't pick up her thing, because she's nowhere near here. But she is scrying on me.
Maybe we tripped some kind
Maybe
of
the
silent
house
alarm.
isn't
Electric.
near
Maybe she
where
had
she
alarm
is.
cast around and we tripped one and then she started scrying on whoever tripped the
Maybe.
alarm.
Ahri creeps up in time to hear, hush, hush.
Okay. What I'm going to
None
do
shall harm you, Strahd.
So,
None
whoa.
shall-
What?
What did she say?
None shall harm you, Strahd.
Oh.
None shall harm you. And when you're about to fire, like, you see, like, she's reaching into the crib as she says this.
Okay.
You can hear, like,
I know
a
what I'm
child
gonna do.
making a sound back.
I am going to. This shouldn't.
So if she's not here, then we can just call it around saying that's just me.
Oh, sorry. Okay. One more thing. Sorry, I have to look at another spell because I'm trying to find a spell I can cast without her knowing. But I fucking don't have any spell because she's scrying on me.
With time as it is, this would be the last one, I'm going to say.
Okay.
The last search.
Casting the spell on the illusion wouldn't let her know that you know that she's scrying on you. Would let her know that you know that it's an illusion, though.
I'll say that, like,
yeah.
her bizarre actions are just enough to halt Ahri for a little bit longer.
Or her cooing at a
So
baby,
she's
calling it
screaming at a baby
Strahd.
called Strahd. We already we
What?
knew Strahd. We know Strahd. We met him like a couple days ago.
So
Like,
I'm
a
going.
week ago.
So, minor illusion. You don't have to say anything. You just kind of do like a thing. I'm going to create a minor illusion over myself to basically look like I'm just standing there. Then, once I'm just standing there, I'm going to cast Detect Person, and I'm going to attempt to detect Baba Lysaga. Because if the house, maybe the house is protected against divination, but maybe she's not.
Okay.
I can't forget it's minor illusion. That's on concentration.
And I'll cast Locate Creature.
I don't know.
Minor illusion is, but he's about to blast anyway.
Yeah, that's why I'm
The
asking.
reason I'm doing the illusion is so that she doesn't know what I'm casting.
Mm.
Because the illusion, Scry doesn't automatically beat illusions.
Yeah.
Right.
I want you to roll that attack. You
Oh wait,
are casting.
Do
You
I
would've
really
told him-
need to
you would've
roll
told him
the
to climb
attack
into
since
the
it's a
skull.
Fucking,
at this point, you would
I
have
would've
climbed
told
into
him
the
to
skull
climb in the
before you went
skull.
in the house. Because that was a part of the
Are
plan.
you not
Yeah.
attacking though?
No, well, I'm saying, do I need to roll to attack? It's an illusion, so even if I succeed, it does absolutely nothing.
I guess that's fair.
Would Crack be in the skull at this point? Because that was part of the plan. before Ahri goes in and tells him to get in the skull.
Unless you didn't want to do that.
He tried.
I'll do it because it was part of.
There are two things that happen. First, Ahri fires. Technically, they happen roughly at the same time. Ahri fires, and it goes right through her. Sasha begins to cast Detect Person as locate creature as a flying skull swoops up from behind the house, and a woman's figure cackling madly, "You will pay for hiring my son so!" and firing a beam of energy
She's
at
Strahd's mom.
Oh wait.
Huh.
Oh no, you are visible
But
now.
She's older.
Not.
A beam
Queen Bara is his mom.
at Ahri makes
She
it
made of vampires.
a little superfluous for you to cast. Like you're in the middle, and when
Okay.
she reveals herself to attack, and you're like, maybe
All right,
that's an
well, fair
illusion,
enough.
maybe not.
Fair enough. Then I will
Okay,
undo that.
she's casting a beam at me. What
Yes.
do I get?
Wait, do I see her cast this beam?
Yes.
Cover spell.
Aren't you 120?
Oh yeah, I'm too far away. She's not closer to me, is she?
No, it's from behind the house.
What do I get?
Well,
do
sorry,
I get
you're
a
dead.
save? I'm probably dead.
Maybe.
You were
get a
so
save.
dead. You're gonna get to die twice.
I know.
It's 5th edition. It's harder to die now. Don't worry about it.
No, if he
No.
gets dropped to 0 from Finger of Death, he just dies.
Does he
Yeah,
also, like,
permanently
come
dead.
back?
I know. I'm saying like maybe he won't.
Does he also like come back as a zombie or something?
I want you to make a Constitution save.
Okay.
You have the lowest health too.
Make the save.
I definitely didn't make the save.
Oh.
I will use Favored by the Gods because that's
Oh, to add 2d4.
yes.
Come on, 2 force.
Nope, not
No.
2 fours.
4,
Hold on.
5, 6, 7.
The 7 plus.
If you were sorcerer first, though, you had con.
Yeah, I have proficiency. That only lets me add 5 though.
That's
So 12.
12. Yeah, there's no way her spell save is 12.
Oh wait, now before they roll.
Well, A, it's before they roll. B, they're out of range.
Oh, your portents have a range.
Yeah.
It's not just visual.
Pretty sure. And even if it doesn't, it's before the roll. You are
So
so
five-
screwed. How much
yeah.
health do you have?
68. Less than 100
Oh,
HP.
that's actually not that bad.
Is it?
She has to do 68 in a single Finger of Death, and it's not guaranteed that she will.
And 60 is a lot of damage for finger.
You are struck for searing pain and 66 damage.
Oh my fucking god.
I rolled a little badly on the dice, which may have saved you.
Thank god.
I think that's the signal.
I have 2 fucking 8. That's the signal.
Oh no, wait.
That's the signal I'm about to die.
Combat then begins as normal, as I will now take initiative.
Okay, so we're not surprised.
My initiative. No, we absolutely are
You
surprised.
were surprised, but the thing is, that was her move. Seeing a person and going,
But if she gets high on initiative, she gets to go again because all our first turns are.
Well, because I'm thinking because I can ignore being surprised
Well, then yeah, you would ignore that.
Is that only
if I rage.
If you rage.
Wait a minute.
Because
My initiative was a 19. Plus 2, so 21. I'm just going to use my pawn on it.
Okay.
I forgot.
Okay.
Advantage. So, well, fuck me then.
If I had one more level of wizard, I'd be immune to fucking surprise.
Did you
Snazzy.
I would have taken alert.
yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't have increased the stat?
That's not. My in's 20.
Oh, do you? Oh yeah,
I
I guess you
started
literally
with
don't
a
need
20
any
edge.
other stat.
I just take feats because I don't need stats.
Tell me, what did you get?
7.
What did Ahri get?
21.
Grab
25.
You were so fucking lucky.
I don't know. I could so easily die.
Yeah, maybe she could cast it again.
21. Yeah, but at least that's, you know.
Those 2
That would've
spells,
killed
she
me.
would've waited.
Except without my. If
Oh,
my
temporary.
buff wasn't on, that would have just straight up killed me.
There was a moment where I rolled the dice and I was like, is it going to do pitiful damage? Plus 30. Oh! Swarms of insects swell from around the house as well. She is riding in a skull. And when she rose, she attacked. You are currently in, out of character, an illusionary skull. What it looks to be like you're in skull. I guess she has a second skull.
Well, this.
This is the one that she
You're
doesn't
still
drive a lot.
technically invisible, Jeff. Aren't you? Did you? Oh yeah, no, you're visible now because you stopped coming through as well. Although technically she didn't see you crawl into the skull, and unless she can.
Well,
see
she
into
can
the
see
skull.
through her own illusion, so she would know it's there. Man, this sucks.
There are a lot of different ranges right now, so.
Start off the fight.
In the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Despite us trying to find.
Can you imagine what would happen if you do anything at all?
If we had just gone in there and tried to blast her, it would have been roughly the same, I imagine, except we'd be.
Except I might have been figured at that.
Yeah. That
I,
actually is what
there will be some DVD commentary where there's some, like, nah, maybe it won't be.
I just realized I intentionally take this.
You're a giant thing of hit points. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about the people with 60 hit points.
So, while I'm laying you guys down, like here, you are farther away,
Yeah, I feel you.
and Crack is currently inside a skull that is floating above the doorway of a fake hut that is, I'm going to say, like 10 feet below and maybe 5 feet forward towards, no, 10. 10 feet up, 10 feet back is the actual Baba Lysaga. who
Wait,
is
how
ready.
high up from the ground is she?
She is currently 20 feet in the air.
So if I throw a fireball directly at the ground, directly below her, will it reach her?
Do you need aim?
Well, then it can possibly hit the insect swarm coming right through.
No, you'd have to aim at the full up. You could.
You can't hit both the insects and her that height. Because that's
Can I
that's what
detonate my? Can people detonate their fireball when it reaches a certain area?
Yeah.
Oh, that
Make
is
it
the thing?
you just
Okay.
make a space.
I think
It's
so.
Well,
like
then there's
shatter.
no, yeah, then there's no
Oh.
reason I won't be able to hit
I
it.
forgot.
It's like
No.
Can we roll her initiative?
No,
Because
I did this.
after she rose up,
that.
there is a hut that also rose up behind
Because
her
she already
as well.
he already rolled for her. Because he said that.
I forgot.
I'm probably gonna die anyway, but luckily it's not the
Almost
finger of death.
certain.
Shit.
And surprisingly enough, the hut got better than it's supposed to be.
Yeah, because I rolled a natural 20.
Hey, man, hey. That's right. In that,
Oh! No, wait, I wasn't raging. Damn it. My raging was active. Anybody takes damage,
Yeah.
ancestors defend.
Baba Lysaga, like, shrieks, "You shall all die for beleaguering my precious boy with your terrible stripes. I'll see you in the deepest, darkest
Do
graves."
we know Strahd is not her fucking child?
I know that Queen Barrow is Strahd's mother, at
And in
least.
the book, I was gonna ask, like, how
It mentions
exact
his
you
brother.
were in sharing information from the book. Because the book, right?
I read out the book exactly.
Then, yeah, the book refers to someone else as his mother.
She
Then-
made him a vampire.
Wait,
What? No, she became the This she also went there.
book refers to a mother that was brought here to Barovia once Strahd was already here.
Unless this is Queen Beryl, but then why would she have a tomb in the castle if this is her?
Yeah.
And the person that you met said, when asked a kind of question, that she is much older than Strahd, why she would work for him, she didn't know. So unless she's incorrect,
then Ahri will say, "You're not Strahd's mother. Strahd's mother is dead."
you don't even get to finish that sentence. She delivers a horrible death shriek after "You're not Strahd's mother." Fire glows in her eyes.
I figured since we're dying, my
You just can't fucking help yourself, can
You've
you?
magnificently leapt onto that sword. But in the meantime, Crack will be the first person to go.
But he doesn't because surprise condition. Basically, in the first turn, so her turn, unless you don't want to do it that way, her turn is only spent regardless of what it says in the initiative. Then, whoever goes first of the three of us, we all lose our first turns. He doesn't because of his rage thing. But whenever one of our 3 turns comes up, we lose it because of the surprise condition. However, the house and her scarecrow do not have that.
And
So we're probably
her
gonna-
scarecrow.
I did it wrong. I did it
Well, I'll just
wrong.
cut that
And then
out.
I read it. I read it last night. Forgot about the rest of that. So yes.
Yeah, no, we're double screwed.
Attacks will happen. Let's say the first being the hut.
The-
Spindly legs like warping into crude facsimiles of chicken feet. The roots like binding together as it comes forward.
Here comes my death. Oh well.
I was just imagining that time. Fucking,
I can't help you.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
unless this thing does like 4 damage. Oh, wait, I'm
No,
raging. I can't even help.
No, you rage once the combat starts. That's how you don't
At
use
the
it.
start of my turn, I rage. As long
Wow, that
as
is
the first thing I
super
do.
shitty.
I know. That's be the first thing I do.
Just kill me, Dave, and do it.
Come on, do it. He's right here.
No, I was thinking about saying something like I'm sorry. And then
No.
I thought of a different joke that I
Cracks
could make.
closer.
I was thinking about jokingly saying, so have you heard about this thing called coins? That you need your turn to use.
The hell's
I mean,
concordant?
Crack
I got
is closer
It's
if
a
the
thing.
hut doesn't care.
Jack got a
Crack is
20.
invisible.
Oh yeah, Crack. No.
Crack isn't invisible because I had to drop it to start casting Locate Creature. Which I didn't technically get to cast, but I assume I started.
This concentration spell versus concentration spell.
Yeah. But you can still kill me, David. I don't care.
Had you not
Piss her off.
specifically antagonized
Yeah.
her, maybe.
No, it's fine.
But as the house like
Grab
rustles,
him out.
she points, "Go, destroy, kill, bury him beneath
This is
the earth."
partially why I do this.
Why?
Cause you
What?
want
You
to die.
have 2 hit
I have 2 hit points. He has more. He has more of a chance of living and doing something.
Okay, but the house might not, just
And he
one
said, now
shot
someone has to
hit.
heal you.
Unless.
Can
Unless
something
they do
do enough
enough damage to just.
He would have to do 70 damage.
Yeah, he would have to do 70 damage.
Okay.
That is. If that happens, I'm gonna be like, well, we're fucked.
Guys, we got you. Get out of our
Well, he can
elements.
keep attacking them after he goes down.
I
and
mean,
kill
if
him that
someone
way.
hits you with Finger of Death
That
while you're at
glow
0
might have been
HP.
the fucking
die.
gem that she stole.
Oh, but you don't come back as a undead?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Shit.
The
That
thing I was
glow
talking
could be
about.
the gem that she stole. But
The
that
thing
doesn't
I was
help us
talking
now.
about was when we hit 0, we go down. But if
Yeah.
something does enough damage, we don't go down, we die.
Yeah, but it'd have to be
Yeah,
70.
but it'd have to be
Okay.
70
The
damage.
hut straightens up, pulls in one of its like root legs, and then thrusts through. Well, over actually, over the house in like this curve, in like a looped stomp. It rolled pretty well. I'm gonna assume your AC is not
My AC
higher
is 16.
than like 18.
Yeah. It hits me, don't worry about it.
You are pounded into the dirt.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I just go unconscious, David. I don't even know if
It does
there's
more
a
than
point.
2 damage, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
by base, I'm just unconscious.
And it
Don't
doesn't
worry
do
about it.
70. Right?
Why do you want it to
No.
do 7?
No, I'm hoping it's not. That's why I'm asking. It doesn't do 70.
It slams into,
Yeah,
and unfortunately,
yeah,
kills you.
that's fine. I knew.
This is what you're doing. This is what you need to do.
No, I refuse. I'm a better tank than you are. I can always
No,
piss
because
off
I
and-
stay alive when I tank.
No.
Good tanks don't die.
Nah, I draw the aggro like no one else.
How much did you say your AC was down?
16. I'm like unconscious. It doesn't really matter.
No, it's probably.
Oh, it's
Isn't
still
it?
a tie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh well, yeah, it's 16.
And
so-
then after it smashes and like retracts, she yells, "No! No! Nothing but smudges on the marshy ground."
Okay.
And then
Oh.
attacks again.
Yeah.
And you're
I guess
prone?
the damage doesn't matter because it's just a
Right, it's just
Yeah.
failed that save.
And I asked, because it attacks a third time, this one misses you.
Did it roll with advantage for him being prone?
No. So, okay. In fact, I didn't roll any.
I don't need
I didn't
to
roll
do
the
that.
other one with advantage, so. This third one hit you.
Okay.
So 2 failed that
We
saves.
found that saying. Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So on my turn,
Oh.
I rolled a 21 on initiative, which normally would be good, but will bite me in the ass here.
You are broken and battered and sputtering upon the ground as she goes, "Yes, that is such a fate for any who would deny my motherhood. And the rest are next!" As 2 swarms of buzzing
Maybe she's just
flies
fucking crazy.
Sounds like it.
move. Crack finds himself up to his neck feathers in insects.
You know, maybe if Strahd knew where we were going, he wouldn't have come here anyway, because I can't imagine he wants to interact with her, considering she thinks she's his mom.
My darling boy, you come home. This is why I
You know, when he died, that makes us winning it all way harder.
I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. His third character will just be a cleric of something else.
I'll
And then
be
it's
here
like-
for a
we
week.
all die, then it doesn't fucking matter. We are horribly
Oh.
outnumbered.
Swarms of insects move upon Crack, attempting to find any kind of purchase. They appeared flies at first, but the itching and scratching sensation that you have all over your body indicates, like many things in Barovia, they're more than they would appear. However, they're unable to gain purchase, even swarming you. As your conviction holds strong,
Your
they
feathers protect
Oh.
you.
fail,
I forgot I used my healing potion on this mark. I don't have one.
not being as strong. And then
If you bring me back up, she's gonna knock me back down again.
Oh, we won't have any
there
death saves.
are
That's true.
the sound of jackals, but more shrill, and their laughter is segmented, harshly, interrupted by itself, multiple points throughout. Something else stirs in Berez, and from what you've been told, scarecrows. You were told they are here and there, which accounts for why they're not here right now, but as the fight goes on, the chances will become higher of them entering the fight as well. Combat then starts in earnest with Crack first. Fuck you. Didn't you have to already be raging? You
No.
said you
No.
weren't.
When his turn comes up, he can activate rage, and then he gets that turn.
But it has to be the very first thing I do.
My bad. Then
And seeing somebody get fucking crushed would definitely make me mad.
now you're currently 80 feet away, right?
Yes. I assume the house count is more than. What's one size category of normal?
Yeah, of course it is. It's a house.
Boy, does it.
Really? Okay. Then it will be moving 40 feet up and oh god. Okay. I was thinking, what do you have with this spear?
Don't worry about it.
Take a javelin and huck it at her and recklessly. So, yeah,
Okay.
that would just be regular. 'Cause advantage, disadvantage, range. Or does it have to be at 100? No, it's just out of 30 feet.
It's out of 30 feet.
It's a 22 to hit.
That is a hit.
Excellent.
You wrathfully hurl your javelin.
Heart. It's a 9 for damage.
You wrathfully huck your javelin. You manage to connect with one of her shoulders.
Ahri!
Yeah. And now the combat will start in earnest. Things are happening, things are on the way. Crack is up at the top of each.
Because of range.
I'll cast fly and fly 60 feet.
We can investigate after the session.
I'll fly 60 feet back towards my allies. And
Okay.
I will, I guess, quicken and Eldritch Blast.
You get up, you fly away, and then you Eldritch Blast. What are you Eldritch Blasting?
Baba Lysaga? Because I can't move the house 10 feet back.
Be able to knock her out of her skull.
So,
I now must inform you that while riding in the skull, she doesn't have cover.
okay.
I want to specific.
Is it basic cover or like
No, it's pretty good. She has 3/4 cover
just 3/4 cover?
while in the skull.
That makes this usually like +5 for AC or some shit like that.
You like seeing her like before you attack.
How big's the house under the curse?
I'll attack the house at chicken leg meat.
Pretty big. Like the house portion
The
house
is
and
technically almost what?
$1,000 from the doors. Feel like huge.
For what?
The size kind.
Well, it is out of character. It is gargantuan. In character, the hut part is like 15 by 15, but it's got like big legs. It's tall. Right. I was able to hit Ahri from where it was. I was moving it, and then I saw his range. I was like, no, never mind. Don't move yet.
So I'm gonna split my Eldritch Blast anyway, so don't worry about it.
Very well. You blast. She kind of like ducks down a little bit, and it like hits maybe the reach of the eyes. It is now Sasha's turn.
How far away is Baba Lysaga?
You were back 80 feet?
120 feet from where the Phantom Hut was.
120. So I'm gonna say she's only 10 feet farther because she came up from behind the hut and is a little over the
So she's
starting hut.
30 feet from me.
Yeah.
I'm 10 feet forward. I hold my staff. I cast, or I incant. Certus, Holka, Imperio, and I slam the staff on the ground and I trap her in the spherical wall force. I'm outside of the 60-foot range of counter spells, so.
Or rather, skillful, intelligent, resourceful. You make your cast and you form. Even though there is a difficult to discern visible effect, she seems to recognize it immediately.
You wouldn't want to do it on the house. She can
I
resist that.
can't do it on the house.
Oh, it's
I
too
could
big.
do it. It's too big. I could do it on the house when it wasn't active. Now that it's an active creature, if I try to do what I did before, it just be shoved to one side. Meaning my whole plan to just hold the house down can't work now.
Think you can trap me so easily, boy. And you! One of his beloved. One of my son's darling Vistani. How could you? How could you do such things?
I will look at Sasha and shake my head as a no, indicating don't. She's not his son. Or don't
He's
say
the one that
he's
told
not
us.
her.
He's the one that
He
told us.
will
Yeah.
die screaming, and you will be in the same place as him, so you will not be separated for long. Witch!
That's no one.
But that's probably less inflammatory than he's not even.
That gets a reaction, but it's not as significant as your declaration.
So that's 5 charges.
So she doesn't care if her son lives.
No, I just said it got a reaction, but not as significant as his declaration.
Well, I figure if she thought it was her son.
Well, yeah, she gave her
And then
reaction.
after casting that,
But not significant.
Oh yeah?
still there. After casting that, I moved back 20 feet. And is there any cover, like a tree, I can partially get behind?
Broken houses.
I was away from the house. But if there's a tree,
Not
okay, then I just back up 20 feet so that I'm 140 feet away from the saga and 150 feet away from that house. Hopefully bringing me out of the house eventually. But we'll see.
from the houses.
Oh, sorry, the way around. I'm not the taller entrance.
Now,
You need some more space.
actually, I have a question. When affected by that spell, can you cast within it?
You can cast within it, but if the spell requires a line of effect, like you can't cast a fireball or a lightning bolt because it's blocked by the wall of force.
Does the same thing with like command spell?
That's debatable.
It'd be even funny if a fireball just went off inside the fucking wall. Fireball
Would it?
yourself.
Could I get a reminder of how far you moved?
60 feet, I believe, is what I'm allowed to move.
With flight, yeah.
Yeah. So, I was however much distance I was from the house plus 60 feet.
Calculating. I almost have just going to check something else really quickly. Or rather, the house's turn. It depends. Things are coming.
I was just going back.
Things are coming.
Well, if it's close enough to get the R, it's probably going to attack already.
House, on its spindly, rooted legs, moves, stomping through the spongy earth, then stops and rears up a leg and makes at least one attack against Ahri.
You know, shield big.
Its range is
Probably the heck
its
way
range is
up
just
the way.
long enough.
It probably has reach.
I mean, it was able to attack the little house before.
Right.
Yeah.
So it clearly has reach.
It connects.
It hits me on a 4. Wow.
Wait a minute, you said your AC was 16, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is aggressive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has a plus 12.
So,
No, it's not that crazy. Sure, I fucking never have a plus 12 I'm
Yeah,
pretty
but
sure
they-
Guard has a plus like 14 on his attacks, right?
Yeah, but I'm seeing. Stop.
They also have
fucking
magic weapons.
giving
They
me
also have
NPC
magic
comments.
weapons.
This is a magic weapon. It's a magic house.
Tiny servant is magically created. It isn't a magic
Hey,
weapon.
Ed, shut up. Maybe you don't have to fucking have to come back 100% of the time.
You dish, I gotta dish back.
No, you can just not. Guy.
Also, real quick.
Fucking nail.
you are smashed for 21 damage.
Yeah, I'm unconscious. 21.
This is fucking ludicrous.
I don't think we should be fighting this.
The witch shouts, "One more! One more!" Oh wait,
2 more there.
technically. But that's not her intent. It attacks again. Oh wait, I suppose it could miss.
It's
not
almost a 1.
Oh, no, it crits.
Maybe I
that's
shouldn't
2
have.
failed death saves.
It smashes, and you're not conscious to feel the couple
Thank
of vertebrae that powder beneath its crush, but it is quite painful.
Yeah.
And now you're dead unless this is his last attack.
Well, that's what, out of character. That's what she said. One more, because then this next attack is very correct.
I think a 28 hits.
Strike you.
This thing wouldn't have to be a demon, would it?
It is not. Striking crack with a gigantic root twisted
Maybe
chicken-looking
construct.
leg for 37 damage.
I don't think we should be fighting this. Doing way too much damage.
I think I should be fighting the house. Everybody else
It
should be
gets
fucking
3
fighting her.
attacks and it can do 37
Oh yeah,
damage in
she's
1 hit.
surrounded.
That means even if someone
Bonus
was...
action.
Reaction.
Oh yeah, reaction. I can send spirits to aid you. You are not within 30 feet of me. Are you? Are you?
Did you move 40 feet up when you threw the javelin?
Yes.
Then yeah.
Okay. Send spirits to you.
Ismark is next. Fires at your house.
Reduce it by 10 damage.
27.
No offense, I didn't
No,
bother with
there's
you.
no point. Don't worry about it. Even if you had cut me up for 1, it just would have attacked me the second time you might.
But that would have been a crit. That would have only been one. No death save. Right? If a crit puts you down, you don't automatically make a death save.
What?
If
If you're up and you get crit and you go down, you don't immediately have to make a death save.
No.
Ismark fires twice. One of his crossbow bolts connects with the house, harming it for some damage. Then becomes Baba Lysaga's turn.
She is surrounded. If
She's also trapped in the sphere of force.
She's going to cast a spell. Does being surrounded affect that?
if it deals damage and has a target, then yes. Like if she has to make a spell attack, then yes.
I don't think she's capable of missing the wall of force. Or the thing that's trapping her right now.
Okay.
I mean, if she rolled a 1 on the attack roll against it, I would just say the spell fizzled and didn't go off. So,
She casts a spell, And while I am pretty sure that she can do it well within it, because it doesn't have a line of effect, to my knowledge, if I'm wrong, then I'll hastily switch and be commanded about it this time. She's going to cast a spell. As she casts. Wait, actually, I should check the range. Never mind, she's doing something. Guys are all so far back.
It's almost like there's a giant house running at us.
What? Why would you do this?
Would real losers need to have a house stick on?
Fair enough. You,
Sasha is like 130 feet away right now. I'm 140 feet away.
everybody else was more or less around you, and that was 120. Was it?
Irina was 120 feet away. Ismark, if he was with Irina, was 120. If he was with him, was 80.
Okay.
Which means I am 40 feet away from where I was.
Which is basically right next to the house.
Oh, okay.
Actually, you know what? Nah, screw this. Let's not bother with ranges. She instead casts a spell hitting her magical might against yours. She's going to try to get some out.
She can't. It just fails.
She would have known that. Really? It just...
Yeah, Wall of Force cannot be dispelled. It can only be defeated by disintegrate.
Watch me be utterly foiled.
Yeah, well, it's a good spell.
Okay. Let's see.
Can't tell about it.
It's the cube of shame. Space stone. Spectre, Jesus.
Not really, because she's still alive.
You can. Through that, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Screw it. She does it anyway. It's not ideal, but she casts a spell, and a cloud of green, yellow, sickly gas envelops Ismark, Irina, and you moved closer to hit her.
To her, yes. So I would have been 80 feet away from them.
And I think it's just them, which kind of sucks.
If it's cloud cloak, she can hit them and me.
Aren't you too far away? It's got like
I'm 20 feet
20
away from them. It has a radius of 20, so if it does it in the middle between us.
Let's do my math wrong. Okay. 3 of you. Not great, but
Yes. 40 diameter
I want a
Maybe she
Constitution
doesn't.
save.
I mean, if I was Strahd, I wouldn't talk to her.
Since
But maybe that's just
if
me.
Cloud kills okay. Since she is damaging another creature other than me, all of them will have resistance. Because she is surrounded.
I thought you said it's something. It's a spell attack.
They would have disadvantage. And if they still end up dealing damage to anything that is not me, those things have resistance.
Well, okay.
Because it does not specify attacks or spells. It just says deals damage.
This takes your reaction.
No. This is just if they're surrounded, this is what's affecting. I can take my reaction to reduce damage further.
17 on that Constitution save.
Okay.
Next, I'm very tempted to hit the house.
Big, big.
Cloud erupts. Sasha's constitution avails him, and then he only takes 11 damage.
With the resistance.
Is that what
He takes less.
So it's 35 damage.
Ismark seems to weather it fairly well. Irina seems to catch it pretty terribly.
That would be sucky, but trust me, if she does kill Irene, Strahd goes after.
She did just hurt Irina.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
Strahd-
Strahd might not care anymore. Might
No.
only care about the book.
Strahd definitely cares about Irene.
Yeah, kill her with Strahd.
He doesn't care if Sasha dies, he'll just take the book off of Sasha's corpse.
It then becomes...
But considering he murdered a whole town for killing
the insect's turns.
the person who was interested in before, I'm pretty sure he'd be pretty fucking pissed about this one. I don't think she would get off with nothing.
I don't know. She seems pretty strong. She might be able to take him. I don't think she'd fight back against him.
The insects, buzzing and swirling, seeking blood, spend all of their movements to aggress Crack, in that they get around Crack once again, invading his space. They're not able to attack just yet, but you're far enough away. Butthole. I mean, you guys are doing pretty well, and that's good.
What?
Because I want you all to live.
How are we doing
We're
now?
not doing well at all. None of the enemies have damage on them.
Baba Lysaga does.
Okay, she has a couple of damage on her and is trapped, but I am unconscious.
It is now Sigurd's turn.
Then the house gonna do 37, at least 37
I think
damage.
it's.
With one hit.
I think it's time
Which
to
means-
attack the house.
A fighter can get knocked unconscious by the house in one turn unless it's higher than fucking I don't fucking know. It has to be strong enough to already be at the end of this goddamn adventure. To even take the house for one turn.
How solid do the house's legs look?
Pretty solid. What are you thinking?
Thinking of running at it, hit, and then attempting to begin climbing it.
You could probably climb that.
Okay.
If it doesn't like that, maybe it's not like that.
That's probably just some chips. It's fine. Yeah, I'm going to run at it, attack it with the blood spear twice.
How much movement you got?
40, and counting if I.
Well, you're not
Math is
actually
correct.
there.
I'm
ran
actually
farther
right
than
there.
the board.
I would
Okay.
actually be right about there.
Well, okay. Is there a particular place that you want? When you aggress the house,
It's right next to it because I have to hit it with the spear.
okay.
Reckless.
Very well.
Versus 16,
That's a hit.
and then 29. For the
That's
second.
also a hit, as one might expect.
Okay. First is 2, 11, and 11 and 8, 9.
7. 100.
Is 9 for the first attack?
11 for the first, 9 for the second. Meaning the house is now surrounded. This is the first thing it
Okay, that's good. It does a shit ton of damage.
And
Strike into it once and again, blood spear ripping against the wooden legs.
start trying to climb.
Do you have enough movement to start trying to climb?
5, 10. I mean, climbing is half, right? And if I also have to make a check dice.
Well, no,
DM,
I was just wondering
God,
about. Yes. Wait.
No, I do.
I have one.
I was more asking if you had leftover movement to start climbing to begin. And the answer is yes. Then start. Okay.
I do have a demon.
Again, you have to go climbing.
Okay.
I also wanted to ask that spell that you have on her that's not concentration.
It is concentration. Or you know what? I'm gonna use my other part. I got a 16, which is enough.
Can't risk it.
You were able to hold on like you always knew you would. That brings us to Irina's turn.
That is a weird thing considering you had to like see the future. I know that basically that's what happened.
Snippets.
Yeah, no, it's not. But still.
It's like, I knew she would sneak attack us from the beginning. Why did I do anything about it?
Let's see. What are you trying to look up?
Irina,
I know there's a climbing a creature, and I thought, when is this ever going to come up? And then it's coming up right now.
There's an appendix in the back.
Irina attacks.
Tell you what happened. He has a it's in his room. You have to go up to the door.
Irina attacks with a lent weapon and scores the hit against the hut. Though it is. It then goes back around to Brack.
I'm gonna find this out.
Start thinning out the swarms.
I could do
If one creature wants to jump onto another creature, it can do so by grappling. So you have to make a grapple attack.
So that's gonna be
Technically,
next.
you need an action.
So I can make.
So
I would need to make one of those attacks.
Yeah, you're
The
not
second
make one
attack.
of those attack. Well, if he's cool with you letting your second attack be a grapple.
Instead of
Sure.
instead of dealing 9 damage, it would be grapple.
However, it does say as an alternative, a suitably large opponent can be treated as terrain for the purpose of jumping on its back and climbing onto a win. But it says that that's at the GM's discretion.
It's huge enough that I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean that would be weird. Make a grapple check against the colossal thing, being a medium creature.
Well,
What?
You could argue that if it's flailing around, you have to grab. You have to pull out. What's that game?
Shadow of the
Dragon
Colossus.
Dragon's Dogma.
You
Although
can
Shadow of the
climb onto
Colossus would also be accurate as
Dragon's
well.
Dogma also has one of those.
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
there are
Colossus.
builds where your whole gimmick is I grab onto things and explode and fire over and over.
Yeah.
That's
You
a
can,
gimmick.
there's a spell called Immolation. You can jump onto things
I'm sorry,
and
just
keep
do it.
yourself to burn.
Mine.
It's this.
I'm gonna guess that's other.
Yeah, I believe so. You probably have to shout, but like,
Oh, speak. And I'll say, are we doing this? Like,
Hell body!
doing a fucking cloud? Like, this
No,
is
not a cloud.
Yeah, it's already cloud.
a cloud.
He was asking if I was in the cloud poison or not.
no, you weren't far enough.
Otherwise,
So that would've
yeah,
been cool.
Because, well, it wouldn't be cool to be dead. The cloud would have just killed him.
Yeah.
It suffocates.
I'll go
No, because
with
he has one failed death save away from death. So if he takes any damage from anything, he's done.
Oh.
Yeah.
roll that learning. So,
Okay. You have a lot of movement, so I'm pretty sure you can make it.
He's 45 feet and can spend a bonus action to get one.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think he was
I got the max, which is 8 plus 2. Doesn't flip.
So I cannot cast fly, or
Oh.
I can cast fly and then dash,
But as you do, you are
So-
stepping away from like the swarms of insects.
And
So I'm
then
gonna
double dash
take
up
those.
so he can't reach you.
Though their efforts have been quite puny so far.
Because
so
she's
I
trapped in the thing.
Yeah.
So you're probably fine from her.
Alright.
One hits.
I mean, worst you can do is like cloud kill you.
Yes, I believe so.
Wait, what happened? How did you get hit?
Opportunity attacks.
The swarms of insects were.
Oh. Okay.
And I said their efforts have been puny so far, so I don't blame you for going whatever. One of them struck, one of them did not. Watch out, here it comes. For 4 damage. And you move over to Ahri, or rather to Ahri's twisted body. potion, or can you?
Yeah, I can have care wounds. Ranger. Get spell.
You're a monk in my head, so like, I'm sure you're doing it.
It doesn't come up that
Well,
quickly, but
but
I can
okay.
cast Cure Wounds a couple times.
Remember I bought him.
You
Yeah, when after Strahd fireballed me.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
You cure Ahri.
Using the last spell set.
It is my turn next, right?
It is.
I quicken, cast, fly, and I dash up 120 feet. If that fucking house can hit me, I'm gonna be so fucking mad that it can like.
Because they'll move 120 feet straight.
Because quickening makes the spell bonus action.
Yeah. So I can still dash.
Or wait, no, you should withdraw and then move 60 feet straight up.
Oh,
Reach, it
fuck.
can still hit you.
This
Yeah,
is
that's true.
But 60
Alright.
feet should probably be out of its range. Hopefully.
60. Okay, hopefully 60 feet up is out of its range, but 60
Doesn't
feet
fly
forward.
only give you 60 feet flying though?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if he quicken casts it, that's his bonus action, and then he takes his action to withdraw, and then he flies 60 feet straight through the air.
Okay. I heard 120.
Well, that was
120
originally.
was when I was gonna dash. But I can't eat that opportunity.
Sounds suspect. Okay. Thinking quickly, you enhance yourself with flight and speed.
Alright.
My turn.
Well, after carefully, like, withdraw.
On my turn, I move forward. So it's pretty far forward. So I move forward. Then I'm going to take my bonus action to Misty Step into the house. And when you told me everything that was in the house, you told me the green glow was under the crib, right? The crib was in the center of the room.
Yeah.
I Misty Step into the center of the room, over where the green glow should be.
Are you able to get close enough? I heard you.
Well, it moved up a bunch. So I moved 30 and then teleported up to 30.
Which means you'd be 90 feet away.
Weren't you farther back than this, though? Like, I thought you were
Like a little bit. He
140
moved,
feet
he moved
away.
pretty far forward, right?
Minus 10, 15, 25.
He
I
moved
assume he-
60
I assume he
forward, 'cause
literally-
I
yeah.
moved
He
60.
moved 60 back. So he would have had to move 60 forward to hit him.
Yeah.
So if he's 60 forward, I'll have enough movement to do that.
That figures.
So I teleport up above where the green glow is. Unless it prevents some sort of, unless the house negates teleportation, in which case I move closer for no reason.
I was curious about something that might thwart you, but totally doesn't. Okay, you move forward boldly.
I Misty Step. What do I see? It's
Misty Step.
It's a green glow coming out of the floorboards.
From underneath a crib inside, yes.
Okay. Now I cannot cast a spell that is not a cantrip. So I'm going to firebolt the bottom, basically trying to reveal the green glow. He said he thinks it's the gem. I think that might be right. If it's the gem, I can rip it out of it, maybe it'll turn off.
Will the house collapse or
Then
maybe
I'll
it'll
Misty
just-
Step out.
It might just, lose its legs and fall down. It's not super high off.
I'm
the ground.
gonna rip this house's fucking heart right out. Fuck this thing. I'm inside of it, but does a 25 hit?
Yes. Once you get to the house, you see exactly what you were told, including the crib. You get to be face to face with what you know is an illusion, but very angelic-looking child in the crib.
I'm pretty sure there's not much Strahd looking like.
Ignore that.
Sniveling brat.
And
You're very tempted to fireball.
you fireball.
Do you want me to roll damage? Or-
Yes.
I don't know. 9. Not that right.
You hurl your flame into the floorboards and burn away a great portion of it. Enough that now your face is bathed in a green glow. You see swirled away beneath the floorboards a green glowing gem roughly the size of a pine cone. There are smaller roots like wrapped around it, almost like a heart and veins. You still need to clear a tiny bit more, like there's one floorboard
On my
that's
next turn,
awkwardly
I can
placed.
get it.
But guess was correct. And you are in prime position to act upon it. However, now it is.
Bring it on. If it can even attack within its own house.
Fucking start poltergeisting shit at you.
I'm game, let's go.
Bet you angrily.
While some fucking minotaur just climb at the lake.
The house rocks backwards and then attempts to throw itself forwards, basically attempting to hurl you out of its door. Now, I'm getting a little loose here. I'm going to just make this a dex save because it's not an attack necessarily, though I am going to say it's going to take one of the actions.
I don't think being surrounded gives the. Yeah, no, it's only attacks. Huh.
God damn it. That's what I was banking on.
Certain actions where he's disadvantaged on the attack. That is not against him.
Actually,
I do have the luckies, but I was thinking of. No, that'd be silly. I was gonna say, can I use Featherfall to just not?
I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to treat this like an attack and I'm going to roll against you. It's technically not to hit, but to like aim you. And then if it's successful, I'm going to give like a dex save for either you like hanging on, but you're like outside of the house and you'll have to get back in, or you're successful and like
So,
something cool happens.
You shoot. So we're just above my AC up to 23.
And if it is attacking, then being surrounded,
Well,
it
it's still
would have disadvantage.
it's still trying to
Well,
hurl.
no, it would have advantage on attacking me because I can't see, but your thing would cancel that out. So it rolls as well.
Oh, dumb.
Thing.
But my
Or
AC
actually
is
cool.
23. So,
It attempts to like rear back and hurl Sasha out of its entrance, and shield like increases enough space of yours that like it kind of catches against some furniture and sends you like kind of spiraling to like the side of the door.
ow.
You hear from outside, "Again! Eject him!" as it like rears back and makes another attempt.
This is the it got a 15. I'm gonna use my lucky to make him reroll up.
It rears back and hurls. This time, the shield doesn't like help catch you off of anything. Its aim is more true. But there's a
Are you
chance
sure
to
this
do-
house doesn't count?
Yes. But there is a chance to last minute catch yourself. Come on, guys.
You guys
However,
have a dex score, right?
Not a lucky that. 22. Or 24. Natural 20 at that. No, I know it doesn't save.
You were able to see partway.
Cloak.
You're able to see partway in
I get
advance.
I thought you were still working on
You're able to see partway in advance that you're going to hit the entrance, and with like a split second before you're actually going to pass the threshold, you're able to scan and find something that you can grab onto. It hurts. It wrenches you, which is why I'm going to like roll. I'm going to say damage for it. We're going to have it because it's like just attack.
So, technically resistance.
And I have resistance to that damage, so.
It's counting as. This is silly. This is dumb.
We passed on a long time ago. We're finding a house with chicken legs.
For 8 damage, this time I did reduce it for resistance.
So,
Your arm nearly pops out of its socket. You're able to hold on.
I have some bad news. Wall of Force is gone.
That is
Oh.
terribly fucking
You were able.
You
You
How
were
much damage
able
was it?
to hold 8.
It doesn't matter. I rolled the 2. It's
Wait,
minimum 10.
I could potentially reduce that to 0
It doesn't matter even if you.
because you have to take damage.
That's true. If he reduces it to 0,
Spending my reaction to call ancestors to protect them.
please, for the love of God, Ed.
Come on. 5, 6, 7. 7! God! 1 take.
Yeah, it goes down. I take 1 damage. Oh,
I tried so hard.
I still have temporary hit points.
Does
Is damage to temporary hit points? I actually don't know if that's the case.
I don't know either.
concentration?
But you know what? I think it makes sense that it doesn't. And I'm going to roll that way, as much as I would like for her to be free. She'll have to get free another way. You grab on, it feels like it's almost not going to be enough, but then burly minotaur in like war paint and ancient weapons strapped to their backs, like grabbed from different parts, padding this and easily allowing you to hold on just a little longer.
I still has one more attack. You can get me out of here.
That's all I can do, bud.
But 23 AC is what it has to do. Come on,
One.
roll
Rest is up
bad.
to you.
Roll bad.
Unfortunately, this is him.
Alright, I'll roll my dex save.
Oh my god.
I'll roll my last lucky. $15?
Once again, you are rocked, and once again, you are thrown. You, more out of luck this time than out of scanning, are able to grab a hold of part of the door frame. It like wrenches you, which unfortunately will mean damage, but less.
And resistance.
9 damage.
Which means that's 8 damage to my health. Nope, wall forces down.
You manage to hold on just a little bit longer, but you do hear cackles from outside. Freedom! A mother's love cannot be stopped forever.
Sorry, guys.
Hey. I feel like we literally did everything we could with that.
Quite an impressive struggle. Depending on, well, not depending on anything. It was cool. A few nice of me. Ismark goes now, and he instead, this isn't too far, so he like moves up. I'll see. Actually, he moves and calls out to Baba Lysaga. Ignore them! Come to me, witch! And then fires at her.
I can plus my notes.
He takes his shots. And... unfortunately misses.
3/4 cover will probably do that.
Then becomes Baba Lysaga's turn.
I die angry.
Morning crabs. Fucking facing.
She flies And then looks again at her spells. No way, that's me. So make sure things are cool. And then casts another spell while looking scornfully down upon. I guess you're here.
How close does she
Yeah.
get when she casts the spell? Is she within 60 feet?
He's higher up because he's in the house.
I'm just asking if not, that's fine.
I'm wondering if maybe I should. She knows.
But she knows you have counterspell.
She could, yes.
Okay, so she's within 60 feet, but
She is within 60 feet?
she specifically makes sure to like stop at any.
That doesn't harm what you said. She count for squares.
Just maybe
Maybe near a window. I don't know, you probably got 4 door so it's kind
Oh
of
god.
not. Okay, then by luck, Sahar is.
I cast counter spell.
She casts a spell. It's going to be a test.
Okay.
She attempts to cast a spell.
Nope. I got a 10. So no spell she can cast it now.
She casts a spell while scornfully looking at what I thought was a cluster, but then I realized you had started climbing up like the house's leg. So really, it's just Ahri and Crack.
No wait,
I'm in
Ahri's
the
60
air.
feet up.
Yeah, Ahri's.
There's nothing that will hit me that'll hit someone else unless she flies above me
Okay.
and lightning rolls down.
No. Okay.
Wait, no, she's only 20 feet
I
up.
forgot that you were flying upwards, so. Goddamn. What on earth do I do? I think. I think I have my answer.
Ahri will say he's sorry about his previous comment. Obviously, she's like, mother, please don't kill me.
Are you really?
Ahri will really do that. Yes. He'll shout it. Yes. He's not
Suicidal.
he's not super proud. He'll do whatever.
Going down twice.
He's stalked in the face by the fucking house.
Actually, I'll rephrase that a little bit. I'll say, clearly you care deeply about your son. And no apology, you said it.
It's too late for flattery.
Ahri will shrug and yell, "What flattery?"
Okay, so her face does soften. It definitely seems like she was down with that, but not down enough to not attack you. However, well, you have no way of knowing this. This does change the attack that she's going to use. In that she casts lightning bolt.
Do you have counter spell?
I wish I did.
Why do you not have counter spell?
I
Do not have
dex
access to
save
it?
from you.
Yeah. I'm probably still down. Probably still down anyway, but I got a natural 20, so 23.
Very.
Oh, because lightning bolt doesn't have to make a spell.
Okay. So actually, what does happen? is
Oh wait,
she
she's casting
changes her
lightning bolt?
tactic. Yeah, I just noticed. She's casting a different spell now. She was gonna do something, and then I changed it. And then looking, I just noticed that lightning bolt is low. So actually, what happens is she changes her mind because of your words and casts lightning bolt, which is which she is very displeased at.
Nice.
She's gonna
See what happens when
She's
you
gonna cast
dice?
something else, but like in the air. She does put down there. Spoilers everywhere.
Oh my god.
Her head-
Good work.
Her head like swerves.
No, she's mad now. Just wait till my next turn. Then she's gonna be real pissed.
Do you want to do this so we can remember? Put that on top of our.
I'd rather just keep making mistakes and looking stupid. Hey, then becomes the swarm's turns. Much less beloved than the swarm. The insects pursue Crack for a variety of reasons. This time, they are effective in scratching and biting. Harming Crack. In that, one of the swarms manages to deal 5 damage, the other 6. It then becomes Siguror's turn.
I'm just gonna start using the spear to help me climb. Just stab, attack, climb. Stab, attack, climb. Yeah, however long it's gonna take me to get to that fucking door.
Okay.
I guess how far away is
Can
the
I
door
hear
from
him
his
climbing,
legs?
or did Sahar see him climbing out the side?
Well, when you caught yourself a couple times on the frame, you saw it.
Oh, there you are.
Considering what he's about to do, you might
Now I
want
know you're inside.
to try to jump.
I
off
have
of the
another
chicken.
idea. Is the door from its leg less than 40 feet? Or 40 feet, I suppose?
I'm gonna say no.
It's a bit more than 40 feet.
I'm gonna say it's 50. I was thinking its attack range is 60, but I'm like, nah. It could probably extend a little bit with balance.
Okay. Then, yeah, I will do that. Stab. Because I was thinking, dash climb. That sounds super weird. I'm not gonna do that.
You said
I'm pretty sure I have it if you wanna attack something else.
I was more thinking
Or if you want to
of
attack him to give him disadvantage still.
that, and I was also thinking, man, if I can get in the doorway, I can literally wedge myself. So if you go flying out again, there's a chance I can catch
Oh yeah,
you.
that's true. That's actually pretty useful if my next trick doesn't work.
So I have 2 attacks, both reckless, just because this is fucking reckless as hell, attacking a giant fucking thing that you're climbing.
okay.
Reckless? That sounds like it's awesome. That's what it is.
8, so that is a 28 for the first. And
crit.
for the second. So, first one is 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage for the first.
Minimum damage.
12 for the second.
Such a bummer.
You savagely rip into the leg upon which you stand. It groans beneath you. Or at least the word it groans beneath you. Your torrent strength. Both Irina and Ismark take their shots at the witch. Cover.
I assume they moved out.
Cloud kill out of character's concentration. In character, the gas kind of stopped when she used the light. Yeah, but cloud kill is.
Yeah, but you can cast another spell while concentrating. You just can't cast another concentration.
Yeah. So you can let
Okay.
him both keep track of it.
No. Okay. Well then.
Then they take damage, unfortunately.
And
Well,
this has no resistance.
They're out of the cloud because they move.
Oh, okay, on their turn. Alright.
But.
No, he's on there. I was also ready to cloud by teleporting into the house.
Lame.
Stationary spell effects.
Oh well. Well, it's not stationary. It doesn't drift.
It moves.
It's
like-
very slow.
10 feet.
Trust me, it's Saturday gang when you got it in an enclosed area. It was
Yeah.
way more. Yeah, he nearly killed us,
He
man.
did.
Director's cut. I wanted to. If it was in the cards.
Whose turn is it?
The cover that she has manages to be too much for Ismark, though not enough for a lucky high roll from Irina, as she manages to tag, which harm her a little bit. It then comes back around to Crack. Also, I believe at this point I'm pretty far into overtime. Would I miss my guess in saying you guys would want to push forward with the fight and not finish it?
It was a little weird stopping midnight. Also, it's just near to seem a little. Do monks not have a thing that they like key burst thing, like get off me? Nothing like that.
That's it. They're all around you. You find it all too easy. All too easy.
Bugs, the birds.
What's doing it, right? Where's that?
Ahri's in the air.
No.
He says on the.
Oh.
Duel. That's on there, right?
Yeah, Duelin's already on there.
12 damage.
Okay. You strike out for 12 damage, killing approximately half of one of the concentrations of
Another
bugs
attack.
around you.
17, which hits. 10 damage.
You kill a great number more of the insects that surround you.
Fist. Which is 17. Which is D6. So 10 damage.
A number of insects splatter upon your Kenku fist. While in character you have no way of knowing that you've killed one of the swarms because they all mix together, you have.
Cool.
Sorry. The bugs are definitely less around you. Got some breathing room. It becomes Ahri's turn.
I have advantage. Flying beats bug.
I was thinking psychic.
What does it beat it?
It's hard to be psychic with a bug on you.
No, bug beats psychic.
Yeah, but what like bug move does damage? Especially in the early games. Right? Here they added.
In missile.
Yeah, it's garbage. So they added like if you turn and fucking signal.
Is there really a point to heal myself? Whoa.
Heal yourself.
I don't know,
Or
is
do
there-
whatever.
Yeah, push it further at range. You could fly 120 feet farther up.
If you think you can hit her, if you're above her, she probably won't have cover. You want an Eldritch Blast. If you want to quicken an Eldritch Blast and then Fireball
I
her or
can't
something.
quicken anymore.
Yeah.
Because I have used enough sorcery points to quicken another spell, even Eldritch Blast.
You could hit her with Eldritch Blast and potentially knock her out of the
You're a
scroll.
6th level sorcerer, right?
Yeah.
You can quicken 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've quickened twice. It's 2 points each time. Your
Yeah.
sorcery points have gone up by 1, so you can do it again.
That is true, yes. Alright. Then I will.
I mean, do whatever you want. You have another sorcery since you're equal to your level.
Yeah. I'll fireball her, I guess. I'll fireball her and then I'll quick Eldritch Blast at her. And then I'm gonna run like a little bit.
Tactfully withdrawing.
Yes, if you want to call it that. Unfortunately, that's only 27 damage from the fireball.
Okay.
If she fails to save.
She's oddly spry for a woman her age, so it's not fairly safe.
I don't imagine a 14 hits. Or
You're above
No,
her.
she doesn't have her cover. Because he's above her.
Unfortunately, that is a miss.
yeah, then I'll just blast just a minute.
She manages to duck the blast.
Jesus.
The 7 was the highest I rolled, unfortunately.
You miss all Eldritch Blasts this game.
I know.
Well, the first one was.
The first one I didn't roll was so. Then I will fly. Should I keep going up or should I move away?
I don't know. I don't fucking know, dude.
I will.
How comfortable do you think
She has lightning bolts.
Ahri
She could
would
probably
be
hit you
120
regardless.
feet up?
I will fly away from her.
Okay.
60 feet.
So that makes it my turn.
It does.
Alright. So you said there was a kind of a thing still in the way that prevents me from like removing it.
Yeah.
But the question I have for you is the thing enough in the way that it prevents me from sticking my hand in and placing my hand upon the gem? Like if I squeeze my hand in, can I put a hand on the gem?
I'm gonna say that, yeah, you could like put your hand down.
Okay. Then I squeeze in, wrap my hand around it, and then I incant Precious Alia Pharaoh, and I polymorph myself into a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, that's not
With
what
my
I thought
claw
you were gonna
around
do.
the gem,
Me neither.
busting out of the hut, taking the gem with me, and roaring as loud as I can. I can't attack her because that was my turn to transform. But fuck your house, lady.
I thought you were
Fuck
gonna try to
your
grab it
house.
and Misty Step.
No. I'm level 8. That means I can turn into a T-Rex.
You grasp the gem. You feel a warm, summery feeling pulse from the gem as you then transform. Everyone from the outside sees the hut shudder and then explode as a Tyrannosaurus Rex is birthed from its innards, growing and expanding. Quite sizable. There are portions of the hut that survive mounted atop legs, but become oddly still, almost as if frozen where they are.
Also, I have a question, David. This by any chance happened to have broken some of the... Oh, I guess I should ask, were there bird cages in there full of crows?
Not inside, but attached to the outside.
Would
That
me
was
busting
actually
out
bad.
have broken the things and freaked the crows?
Or are they still?
Because that's part of what I was hoping.
No, they are still intact.
I can probably reach.
Alright, well I thought it'd be cool if I released all the crows with that as well.
It would be. I want that for you. It's not quite in the
Numbers.
cards.
Alright, fair enough.
No.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my turn unless polymorph is not there. I was thinking, hey, maybe.
You really could snap over T-Rex.
Yeah,
that makes
that's
more
why I asked for the
sense.
monster manual, because I was like, it's giant lizard town
Also,
motherfuckers. Space Marines? They're kind of making 5th edition. CR3. Yeah, they ain't that tough. Great for low level parties, but
So many people and you later down the line.
it's not
Someone
used,
in
it's
the
one
chain
sauce.
has one
Ah.
companion.
Yeah, if the DM allows you to, it's really dope.
Boy, does he. That is your turn. You are now in possession of the gem. And you can easily tell that being in possession of the gem is
Powered by
deactivate the powered hut.
Good. And I should know as I
But it's
roar
not the shit.
loudly, I then turn towards her. And I don't know how high she is in the air, but a T-Rex is pretty fucking big. So
Like- Yeah, like a 3-story house.
I can't attack yet, but on my next turn I'm gonna fucking chomp at her.
Jump at her. Sweet.
The hut would go, but the hut doesn't go anymore. Ismark is astonished. Let's carry on with this turn, nonetheless.
Monster!
He looks at that situation and ultimately decides that that's covered. And he like nods and then turns, looks around, sees that there's still like bugs on crack, and does his best to like take aim at part of the swarm that's like away from crack.
Don't hit me! Oh yeah, I won't. I mean, I'm serious, man. Don't hit me.
Just don't move.
So
Just don't move.
I don't do it because I can't do it.
Can't crack catch bolts that are fired at her?
Oh, that's true, actually. If he accidentally hits me, it's probably
Fires twice and manages to rip through some of the bug swarm.
nice.
Then it becomes Baba Lysaga's turn.
So there's no picture of them. The only picture of Allosauruses and Plesiosaurus.
But
Plesiosaurus, sorry.
So
T-Rex is kind of a though.
this
We don't know what they look like.
this may be utilized, and I think correct. So it's fairly. But if everything goes according to plan, Baba Lysaga looks, and you can tell she's taken a little aback by this course of action, but she sneers. Do not think yourself so special because you have mastered but a trifling trick. I shall teach you to respect my power. She then casts a spell upon you. Now, I don't remember any part of Power Word Stun saying you can't use it on monsters. So I'm assuming you can.
Yeah, I don't see why you would.
So she's going to try to stun you.
Okay.
Oh, you can't counterspell on one of your
Yeah.
chest.
If you have less than 150 health.
150? I thought it was 100. That's part of the reason I...
Oh!
God damn it. 150? That is ridiculous.
God
Yes.
damn. How
What do I make it? There's no save, it just works?
If you've got 150
Awesome.
or less.
Then I'm stunned.
Fuck.
Wow.
This fan's got amazing.
Yeah, that's dope. I'm stunned.
Does the gem give him any type of bonus?
No. However, you can save at the end of your turn.
At the end of my turn. That's super cool.
Beneath a veil of dulled eyes, you shall watch as I rip apart your trifling alliance. She then metaphorically turns her gaze to everyone else, but literally it is one insect swarm to her.
She doesn't move closer or anything.
Not yet.
She's rolling 20.
Well, she's not gonna come down onto the ground unless she has to.
Hey! You come down here!
The bugs attempt to scratch and bite, crack, but to no avail. Also behind the scenes, I was going to have those pellets that on Ahri while was flying. Very savage.
Well, I don't think that would deactivate the spell.
Flight? I think it does. I'm pretty sure if you stun someone that's flying, they just fall. They don't hover. Maybe if you had hover. We'll never know now.
Huh.
Then becomes Siguror's turn.
Okay.
The ravens in cage on this peg and a different peg are squawking wildly at the battle.
Yeah, I'm going to then... Okay,
You can
because you said I was 10 feet away. 10 feet, move to the door, and can I
And they're-
unlock both cages?
No, because it's split into like 4 pegs. One peg has a cage and there's another peg you cannot reach because it's over there.
Then from where I am before I move, can I reach that first?
Yeah, totally.
I shall do that. And if I move the 40 feet, can I reach the second?
No.
I'd have to take the dash.
Okay, I'd want you to make a jump check or an athletics, actually, to if you want to after this do that. But first is cage time. There's no lock on it.
Oh, athletics so.
The thing is, the cage doesn't open up when you try.
Okay. Then
I
yeah.
would
You
like
should
to
grab
let
it.
you know.
Doesn't open, so now I want a strength check from you, unless you just
There are a lot of spells like that.
Oh yeah, no, if it doesn't open, I'm just gonna rip it apart.
Actually, it's fairly rare.
Fuck this.
Due to rage. You said strength check?
Yes.
I have advantage. Being in rage. 1, 2, 22. Got a 15. There's no proficiency.
The cage bends. The cage bars like bend and warp as you're like tearing at it, but it does not open. And the seam of what should be the door of the cage doesn't budge like at all, even though you are making progress on the rest of it.
Would that be my interaction for the turn? Or
I'd want to call it your action because like you're trying to do something. Interacting would have been if the cage wasn't locked or sealed at all, and you just pop it open.
makes sense. Okay. Fuck. See, my plan was just rip that open, get the other one open, move, double move, and start climbing Sasha. So that it might be high enough to reach her.
In the meantime, give me that.
You should run up my back and use it as a launch pad again to jump into her thing.
Irene takes a shot and manages to land against. Actually, no, against. No, Jesus. I'll say it forever for a minute. She almost hits it.
Baba.
And then it comes back.
Wait, does she have almost on?
No.
Okay.
She then comes back around to crack.
I got 9 damage.
You were able to wipe out a substantial portion of the
I hit. 13 damage.
that wipes out the rest of the insects that are playing cool.
Sorry, you and his heart were the only ones
Oh.
going after the swarm.
Oh, do I get the jolly rancher?
I guess you should. Because, like, it is
Yeah.
an enemy that's
See, I was gonna ask because I was wondering. He's like, huh?
Yeah, I forgot about it.
I thought it was just there as a placeholder because it's so like different terrain.
I'm also not going to entertain the idea of powering back on because it was ripped apart.
It's like I exploded out of it in fucking Michael Crichton's glory. Do not take this from me.
If you hadn't done that, then maybe you would have made hands and some action, someone might have, but no. You've exploded the hut.
I start moving the house.
It's like my favorite.
I get close to it, but I can't.
Close to her.
He's trying to get up the hut.
Oh, okay. I told him to do that, so you do that.
45.
You get up to the other peg that has like some ravens in the cage, and you fucking start getting up there.
It's your turn. I'm stunned. I'm gonna roll
Yeah.
my second.
You don't get to the cage this turn because it's small enough.
Oh, you're going for the other one?
Let's just go.
18 on my second. I have a higher constitution save because my T-Rex roll.
You're able to shake yourself out.
Okay, that does take my turn, so.
I flew 60 feet from the house. How far am I from Baba Lysaga right now? Distance wise.
I'm gonna say 70.
70 feet from her. I will fly. I'll fly 50 feet away from her and then blast her with, or I'll attempt to blast her with Eldritch Blast again. And with my dice. 26 to hit with one of them. The other misses.
One of those totally hits.
Then the one that hits does 5 damage and she gets knocked back 10 feet. And then I'll move the last 10 feet I have further away from her, so
You rattle her a little bit,
I'm,
but I don't think you're not back like that.
oh, and
She's
it's
like
like,
a skunk.
yeah,
It's
that's
too
true.
tall.
Regardless, I'm
Yeah, I figured that.
I was like-
I didn't figure you could just fucking snipe her out of that as funny as that would be.
She's going to dispel you.
That's a check. Because
that your against your spell casting mod, or
It's against 14 is what she has to be. And if she doesn't, I'm going to be really upset.
just in case?
Nope, I have no points, no buttons. I used all of it trying to not get knocked out of the house. My portents wouldn't have helped anyway. They were 12, 19. So she's solid.
Yes.
But
Dear Marks, if you think you can weather me so easily, you underestimate the power of this land. Power ancient. The power mine. She magically reduces you, returning you to your original form.
Oh, I thought she was just casting reduce on the T-Rex.
oh, sorry, I thought.
What?
Sasha is reduced back to his original form, though gem in hand.
Looks like an idea came to your head.
Because that idea didn't come to my head.
Then is Sigurd's turn.
Okay. I'm going to try again, but does it look like because I've already mashed it open that I could reasonably hit it to break it open without harming the inhabitants?
No, you're gonna need to make another check.
Okay. Then yeah, I will do so. Oh wait. Fuck! I lost my rage because I didn't deal damage on my turn or take damage on an entire go round. So rage is dropped.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's silly.
You have to deal or take damage in a turn to be going. So yeah, I just reactivate rage.
Refresh your wrath and try.
I don't know if he speaks Minotaur, but throwing that out there, fucking releasing the eyes of Odin. That is a 24.
You are able to rip the cage asunder, freeing a number of ravens that then, technically on their turn, but like scene purpose wise, excitedly and aggressively flock towards Baba Lysaga, and they will attack on their turn.
And then seeing them fly is going to actually make pain go off in my head, and remember, and look around to see if there's anything else coming at us.
You look around and you can see that there are a few wicked creatures of straw and steel that are making their way. They're actually pretty close.
Huh, great, more enemies.
I had almost forgotten about the scarecrows. But yeah, releasing the ravens. Ravens are scarecrows. Shit.
I may drop it. Yes.
Nice.
I may drop it, but Irina manages to get her like right below one of her eyes, harming her significantly.
And if I can, I'll move to a higher portion of the house, if at all. But yeah.
You can go 10 feet up to the remains of the two rooftops if you want.
Just to get closer to her as most I can.
Actually, I think at this point you might be higher than she is.
Sick.
She's not that far. She's not as far as like Hut is above her. She could
That's
have
a little
gone up
disappointing.
earlier.
I was actually hoping she was actually
There's a background for
there. Crack was up on the list too.
Indeed.
I believe he was one for the Bert Raven.
Well, if I do this, they've been successful. Will not get inspiration because my ideal is freedom, which is chains are meant to be broken, as are those that prove fortunate.
I would take that argument, sure.
20, Well,
Nice. Holy shit.
18 plus 3s.
This thing takes a lot of force, but you manage to open it, releasing them to the skies.
You're Strahd.
A soft breeze blows.
Lucky rolls.
A soft breeze blows through your feathers, and you have a special moment that arguably I owe people more of the time, as they all fly and join. First flock around Baba Lysaga, but they get their proper turns. They will start making attacks, which probably actually won't find. They're gonna go where they're gonna go. No, I mean, I was rolling initiative for them. It is now Ahri's turn and Sasha's turn. Double turns.
I will fly 10 feet forward because I have to attack. And I'll... Wait. So, the scarecrows will basically join the fight at the end of this next turn. That's how close they are.
Not a character, yeah. You don't know that. Unless someone gave you a heads up.
Oh.
More.
Then
I completely forgot that we had to vocalize over warning names.
Yeah. You know what? I'll just try to hug that Baba Lysaga again. I'll just try to Eldritch Blast.
They're powered by her magic.
Actually, I changed my mind. I'm gonna fly away and cast another 60 feet. So I'm 190 feet away from her. Alright. And that's basically my turn.
okay.
I would do something else, but I can't cast it both at the same time.
It's kind of hard.
If I can see where the
How
scarecrow
high up is she in the thing? Like 30 feet, 40 feet? How much would you say?
After you.
How wounded does she look?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say not super hurt. Well, maybe. Usually. She's getting a little hurt.
Okay. I swing my staff around, slam it into the ground again, and I cast another wall of force. I would like to cast a wall of force inside of her, and actually no, I'll back up then I'm farther than 60 feet away from her before I do this, since we're just fucking doing that now, so she can't counterspell me. And I wall of force, and I'm going to create a wall of force inside of the skull. Now it says that when wall of force is created, different creatures within the force and wall of force effect, it is shunted to one side or the other, my choice. So I basically create a wall of force starting inside the thing and going up and out. So basically I'm gonna pop her straight up out of the thing and fly through the air. Because she gets shunted. If I fill the thing with wall of force, she can't be in there anymore. I'm gonna push pop her out of her own fucking skull.
And it's a sphere, so she can't really stand on it.
No. Create it like a cylinder. Okay.
So an upside down phone.
Sure. Putting too much air. Unless she has natural flight, she'll fall to the ground and then melee people can jump on her.
More like if she falls to the ground and dies.
That's why I asked what her health is. Because if her health is low enough, I'm gonna just try to mind spike and kill it out. But if she has enough health that she can survive a couple more hits,
Yeah.
probably. Also getting her away from the skull a little bit.
That's why I'm saving my key points.
I do believe you are successful. Casting your spell and jettisoning her from her skull.
Just use these. she has some sort of flight or feather. She might have feather falls, to be honest, if she does.
I didn't see anything like that. She takes damage and falls in a heap.
Alright, there you go.
Oh, don't worry, I'm at the perfect height. Fucking way too high up, but.
It then becomes Ismar's turn. Who will move in and attack?
It's another right spot.
I don't have to roll 220s on your importance. You're spamming the fuck out of that staff.
None of those are spell attacks, actually.
Ismark attacks.
No, 'cause
Scoring
run
a
out
hit.
of charges. 20 card.
Yeah.
For
Oh, absolutely.
damage.
No reason not to.
She teleports.
No, she doesn't. I can respond.
She attempts to teleport. Doesn't.
That's my last thing on this one.
She growls, and then with her actual action, casts a spell. Is Mrs. Steps bonus action.
Oh, what?
She was gonna gain some space, but now she can't, so she's just gonna be casting.
Please don't cast Disintegrate on fucking Ismark.
No, do it. I don't care.
Well, I'm thinking
Just
about
don't cast it
having-
on me!
Thinking about having her roll away, because there's a problem. Cast right next to somebody.
No, there isn't.
No, there isn't.
There's no problem casting this.
If it's to hit, if it's to hit, you have disadvantage.
Oh, if it's a ranged spell attack, she will have disadvantage. But other than that,
It
there's
is
no
not.
problem
I won't
casting
worry
this.
about it. She growls and then she casts a spell. Black tentacles erupt from the ground.
Wow.
That will target Ismark.
Would I roll? Is it a dex save, strength save? The jumping strength save. It's a save of some kind, though, right?
It is, and I'm gonna crack some ears. Okay, yeah.
It's black tentacles. It's kinds.
Oh, I think I failed anyway.
It is a dex save.
15.
Unfortunately, yeah, you do not make it out of character.
Who seems to be more part between Ismark and Sasha?
I've got 58 hit points before this, so I'm still.
Ismark is more hard.
I will spend my reaction to damage he takes by 7.
There's nothing going on when you gain rounds.
Like 14 or 15 in Barbarian.
Tentacles
By
are
6.
simply everywhere. They toss around or smash into both Ismark and Sasha. Sasha taking 9 damage. That is the thing.
To reduce the damage he takes by 7.
So he takes 2.
We don't have resistance
He
because I
gets hurt, but not as much as he could. Unfortunately, neither of you are able to keep your feet in this torrent of tentacles. Sasha's restrained, he is restrained.
She's not the hair, and she loses concentration.
Yeah, that's true.
And then. You know what? If you're restrained, you can't make opportunity attacks on something, right?
Oh, you get it.
So now she's.
If you're grappled, you can. No! Now I can't jump at her.
Yeah, that's true.
And then she moves back, showing the rest of you. No. Cannot be stopped here. Cannot. There is nothing stronger than a mother's love.
How hurt does she look?
She's actually looking fairly hurt. She's getting there.
Okay.
Get her crack.
Shit, is Irina dashing at her? Holy fuck.
She wasn't before, but now she is. Irina moves up, gets in her face, can't wait. She's there.
Damn.
She's ready. It's now back around the crack.
So I got 45 speed. So
You can just return.
There's also this. It's not like cool
I still
He has climbed.
You can slow fall. You can just jump.
now. Does that
Also,
not take
that
it takes
movement?
it takes my reaction back.
Yeah, you can
Does
spend as
falling not take movement up?
No, not if you jump. So the thing is, that's represented by falling prone and then having to spend half your movement to get up. But with slow fall, you don't fall prone.
'Cause
So
he's grinding
technically,
on
in
the
this
wall.
case, he just jumps down real quick and starts running.
Alright, I'll take it. That
It's-
sounds.
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
it says begin at 4th level, you can use your ration. You fall to reduce uniform damage to
5 times your monk level. So if he would take less than 20, if he would take less than 30 damage, or if he would, so how far is he falling?
Should be 50 feet.
50 feet? That, if he willingly jumps down, the most he could take is 24. So he reduces it by 30, so he takes no damage, meaning he doesn't fall prone.
Is this true?
Cool.
Awesome. Wow. Slow fall never fucking comes in useful. And then all of a sudden,
You utilize your Vulcan arts to slow yourself as you leap off. You land on the ground and lose no time at all. Dash away.
that's
Yes, you can.
amazing. You just fucking crouch and tiger hidden dragon.
I think it's here.
I spend a key
Yeah.
to hit 4 times.
Yeah, 4 times.
No.
Yeah.
You are on her in a flash.
I'll just these are just 2 attacks.
Better than mine. Better than what I was going to try to do.
I got
Hustle
so
blood
I got 24 on the first hit.
Which is a hit.
Cool. And I spin a key to stun it, which is I did the math wrong. It's actually DC is 13, so that's not my best.
It's con.
13 calls in now.
I dare say she doesn't make it, but I'll check.
All damage awesome.
She does not make it. She takes 12 damage and is stunned
So that second attack you have advantage on because she's stunned.
as you strike her with a resounding blow.
Wow. Second attack got a 14.
Yeah. 9 plus 8.
You can still miss stun targets. You just get advantage on them.
Yeah, you just get advantage, but he rolled a 5 with both of his rolls.
Unfortunately, that is a miss.
Okay. Well,
She's
you got,
swaying on
you
her
got 2
feet.
punches.
A little too elusive.
Or kicks, so it's up to you.
Let's see.
If the
15.
5 should be 16. If the 5 was 14, that should be 16.
No, because it's
Oh,
not a magic
no.
weapon. So how much?
Wait.
She's not dead.
7 plus 8, right?
Yeah.
So 15. So does a 15 hit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
Alright.
Then we found the threshold.
6 plus 5.
9. 9 damage.
And last attack. And she should have to make Constitution saving throws on all these damages to break the average 5 covenants.
You get another 5.
You already declared it at the start.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, then you get another attack.
Fourth attack.
Wait.
Yeah.
You just did it.
Oh yeah. Right.
Cleared it.
I forgot for some reason. Damn it! Not crit, but whatever. Damn. 6 damage.
You once again smash into her, harming her significantly. So far she's been able to maintain concentration. With this attack, she's maintained concentration.
Jeez.
For all 3?
Yes.
Wow. It's our turn now, so I'm casting Mind Spike, and I'm going to pop it up to a 4th level Mind Spike. So she has to make a Wisdom saving throw or take 5d6. Or no, and take 5d6 psychic damage. Disappointing. Wow.
Her wisdom fails her.
Jesus
Holy
Christ.
6 damage! Literally 1 off of the minimum damage I can do with my spike.
So question, does the fighter feature when you roll
Then
1
armor
on
my
damage only
That
count when
doesn't
you
know
hit?
that. That doesn't work like that.
Through hooded eyes, she reels mentally. What about your turn?
Shit, man.
That is a huge bummer.
I don't think I could reach to attack her.
You'd have to double move.
If I do, I will be within range and I'll be able to attack her.
She's not on board.
That's not the point, I won't be able to attack her. I might as well just take 2 turns to reach her and be able to attack her the same turn.
Oh yeah, it's 60 feet away.
Yeah.
So you'd only take 1 turn to not be able to attack because she's
It
stunned.
amounts
so
to the
she
same
can't do
thing.
anything.
If I move 60 feet this turn, and then move 60 feet the next turn, I'll be able to attack her the next
If you
turn.
move-
But if I dash this turn to try to attack her, I won't be able to attack her this turn, but I will
This
be
turn.
attack her
Next turn.
Yes, but
Compared to-
if I move normally this turn and I move normally next turn, I'll still be able to attack her next turn. Do you understand? So if I dash, the only thing I do is lose the ability to cast a spell this turn. So I'll move 60 feet towards her and I'll clear myself again.
Wait. When you move 60 feet forward, can you see the scarecrows? Because you could attack
I'm in
one of
there.
them.
That's true.
I forgot about that.
You could fireball a group of scarecrows coming.
Well,
I
it's not
can't
the-
fireball anymore. I don't know where spell
Well, I don't know what your fucking
Right.
slots are.
I have
I have
I
3.
went back around the crack. I forgot about
Or 3 third level slots.
that. Yeah, you could have totally texted different scarecrows if you
Yeah, I guess I'll do that.
want. You can do any legal thing you want to.
I
Saints,
will.
more damage birds.
Oh,
Hit her yet this turn.
I should do that.
I can't believe my dice just
Shit with that.
crap out so
What is your
hard.
save
My save?
against aren't you fireballing?
No.
No.
Okay, then I'll do that, I guess. Did you just move?
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast some of the scarecrows. One of them is a 20 to hit,
That hits.
and that's 6
I
damage.
should roll the wrong dice. I should roll 5d8, not 5d6.
Okay.
And the other one is 21 to hit, and it's 14 damage.
Okay.
So,
Between those two blasts, you're able to kill.
okay.
Okay, so I didn't deal 6 damage. I actually dealt 33 damage. Which I know is a gigantic difference.
It's enough of a difference, at least.
Would it give her 6 HP?
No, I mean, it's enough difference. I think kills her.
Oh!
I'm trying to be sure, because she's taking some damage in between that.
What happens when you kill someone with mind spike and aneurysm? They fall over.
Yeah, that tracks to me. I think it's close enough that does mean it kills her. So,
Okay.
She's dead.
So the tentacles.
Because restraining doesn't
the
stop you from
tentacles
casting.
are dispelled as her nose fissures blood and her body convulses.
And once the tentacles are off me, I will grip the staff in anger. And I will say, your son will see you soon.
Are there scarecrows? still
Ahri will
moving?
yell, there's still scarecrows.
So, the scarecrows are still coming,
Yeah.
but they are not particularly strong monsters. I'm confident between
Right.
the 6 of you that it will happen. So there is a point where other scarecrows come in, but they're nothing compared to the horrors that you have faced so far. Bravely emboldened by your victory over an evil far more ancient than these mere puppets, you easily sort out these trifling minions. And once again, Berez grows silent. Though this time, more peaceful.
Obviously we're going to loot what's left of her house
Oh,
and
yeah.
her And
But I mean, I don't know if he wants to do that right now.
yeah, well, I'm not saying he should give a salute right now. I'm just saying.
I'll rummage in the book and post it. But for now, that concludes this battle and this session. You're triumphant. For now, I am Artist David Harper on Instagram and Twitter. It's been me and Barovia and Baba Lysaga for this time. Is there anything that you want to holler at about?
Yeah, so you can find more of me on Lights Camera Nation on Twitter, where I speak for several people some of the time. Additionally, on Thursdays, I'm on the Tainted Lands channel, where I am on their second stream, the Tainted Lands in the North, also known as the Tainted Lands of Antamore. Shit is real, extremely real now. On the 24th, I am going to be running a charity stream of monsters and other childish things for Fuck Cancer Roll Dice. It's a pretty good charity. You should check them out. They're good people. And yeah, that's about all for me.
Cool. Is there anything else that you guys want to throw out before we depart?
Yeah.
Don't be like him. Don't aggro the boss and then die.
No.
Repeatedly.
Why can't you just play like a tough fighter for once?
I don't know.
Why you always gotta play squishy things and then piss people off?
Bro,
That was
Hard
fucking
Play
cool.
Wolfgar. Play
Awesome,
Wolfgar.
David.
I am glad.
Yeah,
well,
that fight
hell,
was
play fucking
intense as shit.
Bard and just do that for your fucking...
No.
No. What's
Play a
the...
fighter barbarian multi-class in full plate with bear totem rage and then talk shit.
No.
Well, you hear it here first. No.
Well, how about Stella?
Until next time,
I don't know.
goodbye.
That would be a good choice too.
Yeah.
See you.
Bye.
Good choice.